Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Film is Okie Dokie. We are from the future, but also the past.
The very recent past, as opposed to the long time ago past.
Yes, because we're here to promote our Oscar form bracket submission challenge
Pool. Ballot. Contest.
Yes, so it's real easy. Anyone can do it, even people that are too stupid to live.
Oh, wow. That harkens back to a conversation we were just having before recording.
Yeah, none of you. Everyone listening to this, you're very much smart enough to live.
But if you're
Oh, no, you have to censor that. You have to beep that out.
Okay.
Any Hoosers, yeah, it's real simple. All you have to do is go to the Discord. You have to be a member of the Discord. Go into, is it general?
It is general.
In the form. Find the form.
It'll pinned.
Be pinned. Yes. Fill out the form. Get as close. If you are the winner, you win a prize.
What's the prize? CJ knows. No one else does, not even me.
I know. Anyone can enter. Anyone can win. So,
and anyone can lose. Never forget that.
Yeah, most of you will lose, but that is
Not
a sacrifice that I am willing to make.
I ain't losing.
It actually is really cool. It is designed pretty well. You don't actually have to just be like really, really dialed in. You can have a first and a second choice. You can go all in on your first choice. I think the way that you set it up is really good.
Thank you. I stole it from a Reddit post.
Yeah, it's great. I actually haven't done a Oscar one like this before, so I'm looking forward to filling out my ballot. And remind me, when do I have to have my ballot done by?
You have to have it done by this Sunday, March 2nd. That is 2 days after this episode releases. So if you're listening to this episode after the fact, I'm fucking sorry. Maybe you should invent a time machine and go back and do something about it. I don't know. But we are calling it off at noon Eastern on Sunday, March 2nd. I maybe will be a little lenient with that time deadline, but you gotta have it in before the Oscars start because the Oscars start that night at 7 p.m.
You gots to have it in.
Gots to have it in. So go join the Discord, fill it out. The one stipulation is you can't join the Discord, fill out the ballot, and then leave. You gotta stick around. You gotta say what's up.
You gotta stay for the Oscars.
Yes.
And I believe if you are listening to this, you are about to enjoy our Some Like It Hot podcast.
Yeah, the Some Like It Hot episode of our podcast. We didn't start a new podcast calling it the Some Like It Hot podcast.
Yeah, it's a very different podcast. It's not about movies at all. That's coming next year. Anyways, so thank you so much. I've been CJ.
Whoops, sorry. Hold on, wait.
No, that's been Duncan and Edison.
I've been Tommy.
And, get your Oscar ballots in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Film is Okie Dokie. My name is CJ, and joined as always is my wonderful co-host, colleague, friend, acquaintance, straight goer, Tommy.
Wait, I'm a what goer?
A straight goer.
What's that?
Means you're not a criminal.
That you know of.
I assumed your criminal status, and I apologize.
So what happened to esteemed co-host?
What did I not say that this time?
No. You said everything except that. Have I lost my esteemed status?
You are also my esteemed co-host. How about that?
That seemed very performative at the end.
Well, I don't know what normative it was, but maybe not per.
Maybe more. Wait, yeah, more normative. Never
and
mind.
Also joining us as always is your lovely assistant Tuminio.
Tuminio, yes.
Yeah.
He just scampered in, his bare feet slapping on the floor. Oh, he looks kind of angry today.
Tuminio, please go take care of the dogs during the show. They barked last time.
He just scurried away.
Okay.
Did they bark last time?
We had a little yippee, I think, in the post show.
That sounds right. That sounds like them. CJ, how you doing?
Oh, I'm living the dream, bud.
My roommate and I say all the time that what you just said is exactly white person code for I want to fucking die.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I've heard Another Day in Paradise is another one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that it's I want to die, it's I'm dead inside. Like,
I mean, is there really a difference?
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't want to, like, cross over into the beyond. I just am already dead inside.
Gotcha.
The husk wants to live, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm not lacking for reasons to live, so... But I have to give
you're already dead.
Yeah, I have to give an answer, so I might as well give an answer that's like, at least semi-positive for most of the population.
So you're living the dream, I hear?
One day at a time.
What have you been up to, my friend?
I've been working a lot. This was supposed to be my quiet part of the month, and it quickly turned into the not quiet part of the month. I woke up today to 12 calls on my calendar.
Wow.
Yesterday there was 1. And then I have 12 more the next 2 days. So that'll be fun. Basically, someone was supposed to schedule things a certain way and they didn't. And so we found out about it last night at 6 o'clock when I didn't have my work phone on me. So my fault, I guess, but also not fun. So working a lot. I've been playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Gotcha.
Big recommend. That game was very fun.
Whoa, we're moving recommend.
No,
all the way up
it's
to
not
here?
a rec room recommend. It's just a regular recommend.
Okay.
Right. Just a.
Have you beaten the game yet?
No.
Okay. Because I have a question. I've never. I think I own it, but I never played through it fully.
Okay.
I have a question about something at the end of that game, but I won't say it out of spoilers. But maybe once you finish it, we can ask that question.
Well, hopefully by the time the post show is recorded, I'll have finished it.
Oh, all right. Let me throw Tommy's Kirby cue to our post show notes so we don't forget about this.
That does sound slightly wrong.
Oh, just wait till you hear the question.
I also this week snack because I always have snacks when we record, and
I can tell you're snacking on something that sounds like peanut butter.
It's not. It's Raisinets.
I hear a lot of.
Well,
sounds like you're a dog licking the roof of your mouth.
I've put the box down. Thank you. I put the box down. Anyways, yeah, so I had a weird day today, actually. I had a weird thing happen to me today. I feel like I have weird things happen to me every day. This one was kind of like up there in terms of like weird. Now I'm like painfully aware of all my lip smacking and tongue movement.
Good.
Yeah, you've made
good. Yeah. Be aware.
Your toes are always inside your socks or whatever. Anyway, so
I'm not wearing socks.
Good call.
My toes are just straight in my shoes right now.
Oh, that's disgusting. That's how you get nail fungus. So I had to go to the post office today. I had to mail 2 boxes. I can actually tell you this because the person whose gift this is won't hear the rough cut before their birthday. And by the time the episode comes out, it'll have been months after their birthday. So my friend JR, he moved away, but when we used to play Halo Wars together, that was our game. Like we probably put 10,000 hours in Halo Wars, like no joke. We have played that game religiously since launch, and we still play it to this day. It's kind of crazy. Not Halo Wars 2, just Halo Wars. And the Cyclopses, if you get a full army of them, they move so slow that one time it was like 2 a.m. and we were just fucking around, and I was like, let's all go to the lobby. Like they just looked like they were like in a field on a school trip or something, and they were gonna go to the lobby to get themselves some treats, which is the old thing that would play before the movie. And I was at a store the other day and I saw a sign, which was a really nice sign, and it had like this fake hologram thing on it, and it was a really cool looking go to the lobby sign with all the little treat characters. So I bought that, and I was mailing that to him for his birthday, but it was an irregular size, and I didn't want to try buying the postage online because it was going to be an irregular thing, and it is generally cheaper to go to the post office than UPS these days when I'm shipping things to him. So I get to the post office, and there's 2 people working. One guy at the counter has, I'm not exaggerating, he had like 50 or 60 packages, all wrapped in like paper. and was like trying to send them out and basically just brown paper and twine. The other lady was very overwhelmed because she was basically taking all the customers because this guy was stuck with the 60 packages guy. There wasn't a lot of people in line, but there were people in line. So I'm in line for about 5 minutes, and this woman comes in behind me, and she goes, "Hey!" And I don't turn because I don't recognize the voice. And then she taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, "Hey!" And I turn, and I'm like, "Hi, can I help you?" And she goes, "Did you used to go to the deli?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "You look like someone that used to go to the deli." And I'm like, "I didn't eat there, no." She's like, "I used to work there." And I'm like, "Okay, I didn't ever go there." She's like, "Are you sure you never went there? You might just have one of those faces." And I'm like, yeah, I guess maybe I do. So then, like, without skipping a fucking beat, she asks the person in front of me, "Hey, did you used to go to the..." And the woman's like, "No, I never went to the deli." And she's like, "I used to work there. Now I volunteer at a florist." And like, it was like nobody fucking
this
asked.
woman was looking to talk.
She was a yapper. So then she goes to the guy at the counter with the 60 packages. And she goes, "Hey, didn't you used to go to the deli?"
Where the fuck is this deli? Is this something like in your town or
it is in the town. It burned.
Is this a?
It burned down.
Is this a name that we should probably censor? Or
I don't think so.
Okay.
And it had burned down at one point, and she had lost her job, and she was having a hard time getting another job since that job at the deli. And so she is like, "Hey, did you used to go to the deli?" And the guy with the 60 packages turns around and goes, "As a matter of fact, I did." And she goes, "You looked familiar." And he's like, I remember you. You worked there for a few years." She's like, "Right. You used to get the pastrami on whole wheat." And then he was like, "Yeah, and I would get the Utz pretzels." And she's like, "Yeah, I remembered. I liked those pretzels." And I'm like, what are the fucking odds that she's
batting 3,300 right now?
Straight up just goes, "Okay, did you used to go there? No. Did you used to go there? No. Did you used to go there? Yes." Then she actually remembered him. And I'm like, there's no way that this is really happening. But it really happened. She actually recognized this guy and remembered him. And then they wouldn't stop talking. But he's at the counter with the 60 packages. And the guy is like, "Sir, if you're not gonna like..." He's like, okay. So he would turn around and do like a package or something. And then he'd turn around and they'd keep talking. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you just made everything take so long. And also, they're not having a quiet conversation. It's like they're yelling in the post office.
Mm-hmm.
"And I remember the one time that you came in and you asked for extra pickles and we gave you no pickles." It's like, what a fucking hoot and a half.
Wow.
Like, come on. Like, come on. And before anyone listening is like, she sounds slow, I think she just had a long, meandering voice.
How old was she?
I didn't really look long enough to get an idea. She was missing
because
some
your voice
teeth.
makes her sound like she was probably like 80 plus.
No, I think she was like in her like middle 50s.
Okay.
I was just like, oh my God. And then I leave and she's talking. She's like, "I need a sticker." It's like, and then the guy's like, "No, Ellen, are you doing priority?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, there's no stickers for flat rate for whatever." And she's like, "I need a sticker." It's like, "No, you need a marker." She's like, "Okay." She takes the marker and then she puts it in the trash and she comes back, "I need a new marker." It's like, are you so deprived of attention that you're like fucking with this man's marker? I don't know. I didn't get the vibe that she was like on the spectrum or that there was, I just felt like she was very a needy lady, you know? And sometimes there's just people like that. And she's just very needy, like needs to be in other people's shit, and wanted to talk about sandwiches. So
I just want to say, you don't do yourselves any favor with repeatedly mentioning, like, and guys, she wasn't on the spectrum.
I just didn't get the vibe.
It just makes it worse though when you have to repeatedly say
I
that.
just feel bad because I realized my impression could be interpreted as such, and
for what it's worth, I did not interpret it at all that way until you brought it up. I just assumed she was old.
okay, good. She's just old, I guess. So yeah, what you have something written down here?
Yeah, so let's talk about beers real quick.
Okay, they're pretty good.
And I'm not sure how much legs this conversation will have, but it's just something I heard that I wanted to at least bring up and not hear from the horse's mouth, but just, chat a little bit about. I hear that you have never had a specific kind of beer while you've had a lot of really similar types of beers. You know where I'm going with this or no? Okay. I'm like far from a beer drinker. I'll drink it occasionally. I'll get one if like I'm out on a date with Jade, but like I'm not like a crack open a beer on the weekend all the time. Like sometimes I go months without having a drink.
Right.
It's just I like doing it, but I've still had a lot of like, pretty big flagship beers, but I heard you had never had a Miller Lite before.
Correct. Yeah, I've never had a Miller Lite.
And your favorite beers are?
I don't know why that's relevant to this.
Well, no, it's just, what are your favorite beers?
Okay. I like Bud Light.
Mm-hmm.
I drink a lot of Coors Light.
Mm-hmm.
And like those are my two go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, and I said this to someone recently, I can get through any beer. So I'm not like against beer in general. Just, I mean, I've had a lot of beers that I would never probably have again, or just would not go out of my way to seek for myself for my own enjoyment, but weren't bad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you go. Those are my two favorite beers. I
just find that really interesting because to me that's almost like, I've had Coke, but I've never had Pepsi.
Okay.
That's what that's like kind of analogous to for me. So that's why it kind of blows my mind.
I've never bought one. No one's ever had it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a bunch of parties and no one's ever had Miller Lite.
Okay.
I've been to other social gatherings where they had Bud Light. They didn't have Miller Lite. I've been to ball games where they didn't sell Miller Lite. I'm trying to think of places that I would get beers because I'm kind of like you in the sense that I'll go months without drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a social drinker. I don't really feel the urge to drink unless the people around me are drinking,
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't drink because I like the feeling of drinking, and I really don't like beer in general as like a general form of alcohol consumption. But sometimes it's just like, what would go really good with this like sloppy burger? A beer. Right? Things like that.
All right, well, CJ, I'm going to give you a piece of homework. You got to try a Miller Lite.
I don't know if I want to.
Why is that?
I think it's funnier if I don't. First of all, I feel like I'm giving up all my leverage if I just go out and buy one.
What leverage does having never had a Miller Lite give you in life?
None, except the fact that you want me to have one really bad.
Yeah, because I'm just curious your thoughts on it.
Yeah, and
it's not like I'm not coming to bat for Miller Lite. Like I would probably say Coors is my favorite of those three over Miller and then over Bud.
Yeah,
but it's just fascinating, and I would love to hear you're living in a vacuum right now, right? Of never having had one. So I'm just curious what someone who's never, because like a Miller Lite was like, I think that was my very first beer.
Okay.
So I'm just curious to hear what it's like for someone who has never had one in their adult life, what it's like to have one for the first time.
Okay.
Not like it's some epiphany experience or anything, because it's not, it's a cheap beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, what's it like to have not broken through to the other side?
Probably
like that?
Just gonna taste like a regular light beer. I mean,
100%.
I mean, it's not gonna be interesting at all.
I think it's gonna be the most interesting. I think you're gonna find some very choice words for it.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. All right, maybe
you have homework.
I'm not gonna do that.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? Maybe when we are visiting in like 2 weeks, I'll buy you a Miller Lite and I will video you drinking it. And then I'll get your first reactions on camera and we will play the audio of your first reaction live here on the show.
Okay, fine.
Awesome.
All right, fine.
It's set.
Doing it for content at least makes more logical sense. Yeah, I don't know. That's fine. I mean, I just don't know. Like, I would go to, like, I'm trying to think of a scenario where I had the option to drink Miller Lite and chose not to drink at all, and it just hasn't come up, you know?
Interesting. Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever been presented Miller Lite.
Interesting. I wonder if it's a regional thing.
Yeah, maybe it's a regional thing. I don't know. There's lots of Yingling here. I was at a fucking pizza place the other day, and they had a Yingling sign in the window, and I was like, fucking Yingling, dude. I fucking hate Yingling.
Is Yingling is just really big out there?
I think it's like one of the breweries is near here. It's like a Yingling is everywhere. Like, we went to Minnesota for SGDQ one time, and our friends were like, oh my god, they have Yingling. That's so crazy. And I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's like getting excited for Steel Reserve or High Gravity.
I do not know those.
Be thankful.
Woo! I don't know Steel Reserve or High Gravity. Let's go!
All right. So, I was having this conversation the other day. This is relevant to you. This is about you.
Okay.
It's about us, actually.
Okay. That's cute.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know why. This is kind of going to be like a little sappy, but then it gets to a math problem. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready.
We were talking, and I was talking to someone, and they were like, oh, do you know that you're Tommy's best friend? And I was like, I am. And I was like, that's awesome. I was like, I love Tommy. Tommy's my best friend. I was like, you don't have that moment when you're adults, when you like are on the playground, you're like, do you want to be my best friend? And it's like, yup. You know, like that moment, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, we're best friends, you know? You're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
wow.
No, I thought you were going to keep going with your sentence. Jeez.
I was like, okay, my heart is breaking into a million pieces with every second of dead air.
This is awkward.
Yeah,
CJ, I got something to tell you.
So,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's very awesome. Again, like, you know, I never put it together in my mind, you know?
Even though I've called you my best friend multiple times on the show.
Yeah, I know. It's like one of those things. When someone else says it, it's like, oh.
Wow.
No.
So when I say it, it doesn't mean anything.
Shut the fuck up. It's like someone else's perspective on it gave me like a new perspective on it. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I was like, later on in the conversation, I was talking to somebody about like, oh, can we, like, would you let me officiate your wedding? I was talking to Dayman about it, friend of the show, Dayman, only guest on the show so far. And we
should remedy that soon.
We should actually, yeah, we should have a guest on the show. So Dayman, I was asking, and he's like, you picked the wrong fucking person to ask, because I hate weddings. I've been to too many fucking weddings. And if it were up to me, I would get married at a courthouse and wouldn't tell anybody. You'd find out like 3 years after the fact that I'm married because I'd slip up and accidentally call her my wife, right? And I'm like, okay, let's say that you marry a human being who actually wants to have a wedding. Do I make the guest list at like 200 people? And he's like, yes. I said, do I make the guest list at 100 people? And he said, yeah. And I said, do I make it at 75? And he said, then it starts getting dicey. So, we are going to play a game. It's how far down the list do I get? So,
okay,
250. If you had a guest list of 250 people, do I make the list?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
This is a hypothetical future bride, not to put any labels or whatever.
Okay.
Because I feel like if it was you and Jade, like, I have a good shot of getting on the wedding. So this is hypothetical, anonymous bride.
I'm getting married to a nebulous void in this hypothetical.
It could be Jade, but it could also be any other person in the world.
No, I understand what you're saying, because you are very good friends with both myself and Jade.
Yes.
So factoring in both of that is different than what the question is.
Yeah, like, I would be on the top of basically, if it was a combined list, it would be like a what section are we putting CJ in, right?
Wow, confident, are we?
Yes. I listen, the revelation that I'm your best friend has empowered me. It's emboldened me.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready. Give me some more numbers.
At 250, I make the cut.
Yeah. Can I just side note? When you said math problem, I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna get ready. So I grabbed a Post-it note, a pen, and I pulled up the calculator on my computer. I'm like, I'm gonna blow CJ's mind with how fast I can solve this math problem. And it's not even, God damn it, CJ. It's a hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical math problem.
Okay. I wouldn't say it's a math problem.
You're subtracting people out of your life. How is that not math?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So, do I make the cut at 200?
Yes.
Can you think of an example of someone who would make the cut at 250 but not 200?
I'm not sure if I even know 250 people.
Like family and, friends.
I'm going to be real.
That's 250 between you and your spouse.
I'm going to be real. I don't see a world where I have a wedding with 250 people invited.
Total.
So let's just, yeah.
Okay,
That's
start.
a big wedding.
It is a big wedding. Let's start with how many people are invited.
Okay.
At the biggest wedding. The
biggest wedding.
Like, someone has to, twist your arm a little bit to get you to have that many people.
Then we'll say 200. Let's keep going down the list.
Okay, 200.
Let's keep going down.
Okay.
200? Yeah, sure, you can make that cut.
Okay, 150.
Ooh, now we're really splitting hairs. Yeah, I'd say you're invited.
All right, so I'm in, the top of the friends list here.
You're in the top 150, certainly. That we've established that.
Well, your bride gets 75, right? So if you're split it in half,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
125? At 125, Cousin Otis isn't coming. Second Cousin Otis isn't coming.
Yeah, I would say CJ is invited still.
Okay. Do I make it below 100?
Ooh, below 100.
That's 50-50.
50-50.
So that's immediate family.
Oh, I don't know. This is tough. I'm going to go, CJ's probably invited.
Look at that. All right. This is the bonus round. You ready?
What? There's a bonus round? Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Would you let me officiate your wedding?
Whoa. This seems very different than the game we were just playing.
It's related.
The answer is yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, then you don't have to invite me. I can just go.
Wow, so you went halfway through a hypothetical and then asked a tangential question that just nullifies
it. Doesn't nullify it.
It
doesn't nullify it. Maybe you want to get married in a church or financial institution or a place that I've been banned.
Oh, you know what? I did want to have a wedding inside the hotel lobby in
go to hell,
hometown.
Well, thank you for indulging me with that. I would say
you're not even going to keep following up on the hypothetical. We're not going to figure out what number you are.
Well, maybe I'm afraid.
Nope, we're going to keep going with this.
All right, 99.
Oh, you want to go one by one?
No. 75.
75? Ooh. Yeah, I would say CJ's probably invited.
All right. Now, this is where I think it can differ. If you were to have a courthouse wedding, I feel like I could be in the small party, right? But if you were going to get an actual wedding, I might not make the cut. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing. When I think courthouse, I think bare essentials are coming with in terms of immediate
you need a
family,
witness.
if at all. Yeah, a witness. So I would say that's not in the hypothetical. We're just talking about wedding with invites.
Okay, 50. That's 25
50,
people a person.
25. Ooh.
That's that's mom, dad, sister, spouse, kids.
Yeah. I have 4 parents alone, and I have
That's 21. Yep.
I have 3 sisters. I have 5 sisters, accounting for all my step siblings.
Okay.
So that's 16. Ooh, this is...
And you said there'd be no math.
You know what? I'm going to say CJ would probably be invited to the wedding.
Hey, let's go. Top 25, bitches. I don't feel the need to go anymore.
What? Wow, okay. Uninvited.
How much smaller?
Let's run it back.
Uninvited.
Let's run back through that hypothetical now. 200?
No.
CJ's not coming.
Fine. Fine. 15.
15? So what, 30 people invited?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 30. Mm-hmm.
Then I think, see, here's the thing, is you live across the country, so
I would travel.
At that point, it's probably really splitting hairs. Just because I think 15 would cover pretty much all of my family.
Yeah.
Like 30. So that's probably the cutoff.
So basically, if it's 31, yes.
Whoa. If it's 31 through 49, there's gonna be conversation, but we know 30 is a no.
Okay. All right. 40. Do I make the cut at 40?
Oh, what number? Are you trying to figure out exactly what number?
I'm trying to get a tighter range here.
40. I feel like 40 you're making it probably. I'd say
Okay.
I'd say you're probably in the in that range. The 30 is 30. You're probably like invite number 31 to 35.
Hey, listen. I'm like at the top of the list for non-blood relatives.
Yes, you're up there.
See, then there you go. I'm happy with that. Do you want to keep going further? Because I'm content.
No. But I'm ready to ask the question to you.
Okay.
So if you were having a wedding with 50,000 people invited,
Jesus fucking Christ.
where am I at?
Yeah, you're in there.
How do I do? Okay.
You're in there.
If you had a wedding with 49,999
You motherfucker.
people. All right, let's chop that down to 100.
You make the cut at 100, yeah.
Let's go. All right, I'm you know what? I'm happy with that.
Hang on, I got this. You're
Okay.
happy with that?
Yeah.
I can give you an exact number.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
My heart rate is raising as you count.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You are number 20.
Wow. So what I'm hearing is same answer. I'll get in at number 40.
No, you're at 20.
Yeah, because you have to account for the 20 on
right.
the other side too.
Yeah, you are like literally you're only bested by one person that's not not related to me.
Wow.
Yeah. You're
Wow.
really
I'm offended. I gotta be number 1, baby.
All right, fine. I'll uninvite JR.
Yeah.
Fuck your birthday.
Get fucked, Halo Wars.
There you go.
Got him.
All right. Having been said, what are we doing today?
We're watching a movie you brought to the table.
We are. That's right. I have swindled the potluck, and we are doing 2 movies of mine in a row.
Yeah. So, CJ, what's your background with this movie? Because I have not seen it.
This is exactly like the Birdcage situation, where I've seen it out of sequence, and I've seen it on TV, and I've seen the scenes before, but I've never seen it all in one go.
Okay. So, what made you choose to have us watch it?
You know, I really didn't like Wild Wild West, and so I decided I needed a palate cleanser while also attacking Wild Wild West in the subsequent 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm attacking the premise of the humor in that movie with 2 examples that I think are really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That is my reasoning for picking it.
When you originally brought up the idea of you picking 2 movies in a row,
Mm-hmm.
you said you already knew what 2 movies you were going to do. Well, at least you knew the next one.
Yep.
And then it was the one after this one was going to be one of 2 movies. It was either going to be a movie that I'm pretty sure you said you loved and you found really funny, or it is really funny. And then the other one is one that you love that isn't as funny, but you find it funny at times. So which is this?
It's neither, because I watched both those movies by accident before we recorded.
How this is like what this is like when someone's like, I had an affair. It was an accident. It's just like, what? You just fell and your penis went in them? How do you accidentally watch this movies you said that you wanted to watch with your best friend?
And so the first movie was The Blues Brothers,
which is a movie that you've said multiple times to me you wanted to do on this show.
Uh-huh. And we still will one day. Like 100% we're going to watch that movie. But I said that, and then YouTube, Chan, the algorithm was like, you want to watch Blues Brothers? And one thing went to another, and suddenly I was getting nothing but Blues Brothers clips in my YouTube algorithm. So I watched the whole movie 1 clip at a time. I'm going to admit, I fucked that up.
CJ, stop eating Raisinets.
No.
Stop eating them while you talk, at least.
No. All right. I'm putting the box away.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to talk longer. It's not coming up on my audio.
Oh, well, it's not that it's coming up. It's that I can very clearly tell you're eating something by the way you're talking.
I tried. Listen, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. What was the movie that I thought was really funny at times?
I don't know. You said it's here. You know what? Maybe this will jog your memory. You ready, CJ? I got a little clip to play us.
Oh, shit.
I'll give you the exact context.
I hate when you bring up shit that I said. I don't remember it.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I just brought this just in case. I'm playing it to maybe jog your memory, not as like a type of aha, gotcha moment.
Got it. Okay.
Right?
Jog my memory.
You wanting to go twice in a row just has me thinking like, oh, that means that we're going to be doing like a sequel or something.
No sequel.
Okay.
No sequel. They are tonally not the same whatsoever. I know what two movies I'm going to pick. One of them is a comedy, and one of them is a movie that I find very funny at times, but is very serious.
Okay.
I recently watched my favorite movie, and I had this urge to watch another movie of mine that I really, really like, and then I decided, I don't know. So, I'll tell you what. I don't know what movie I'm picking two movies from now, but I definitely know the one I'm announcing at the end of the show.
Wait, so why do you want two in a row then? If you don't know what the second one is going to be, why do you want
It's between two.
Okay.
Because I want to watch those movies, and I want to watch them with you, but I want to watch them kind of soon.
Okay. All right.
That's why I want two in a row.
Fair enough. So, does that jog your mind at all? Do you remember what other movie you wanted to pick?
I think it was Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Oh.
Yeah.
That first off, the first movie we've ever watched together.
That is true.
But you would say that movie's more serious and funny at times, because I think that movie's fucking hilarious.
Can I be honest? I have no idea what the second movie is.
Oh God, CJ.
I know, dude.
Oh my God.
Was it Hail Caesar? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it was a Coen Brothers movie. Well, anyways, we're watching Some Like It Hot.
It's awesome.
I will say that we did that before we recorded Wild Wild West, right?
Ooh, that I do think that was in the pre-show of Wild Wild
So,
West.
yeah, I believe that bargaining took place in the pre-show, and watching that movie colored how I felt about my next two movies. So, this is my sort of planting my foot in the sand and saying to all the people out there that are like, you can't, like, CJ is mad about this because, like, you can't make these jokes anymore, modern sensibilities. And this is my response. These last two episodes, this episode and the last episode, are my response. The answer is, you can do it. There is a way that you can do this and be funny. This is how you do that. This is how you make the movie and make it fun. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I believe, in hindsight, I didn't know this at the time when I requested both, that this is what I was going to end up doing, or that this was going to feel important to me, but this is what we're ended up doing, and this is why it's important to me.
Gotcha.
So it worked out in the end, and maybe one day we'll watch the Blues Brothers together.
Maybe, I hope, because I got a lot to talk about with that movie.
I do love that movie.
I got a lot to talk about.
I was listening to Minnie the Moocher today. It got stuck in my head.
Who?
Minnie the Moocher. She
they
was
do
a
what now?
low-down hoochie coocher. No?
What?
What?
Who?
At $1 million worth of nickels and dimes.
What?
What?
Who?
Howdy, 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 ho.
Oh, see, now I know that one.
Yeah. Poor man. All right, go on.
I mean, so you said that you have not seen Some Like It Hot, but
I have.
you've seen...
I've never sat down and watched it.
Yes, you've seen pretty much all of it individually, but never all in one go.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything you want to talk about this movie in advance, what it's about, or
I'm not going to say anything.
History?
I'm not going to say anything about it other than to say this movie was one of the first movie selection to be preserved in the Library of Congress.
Okay.
Which I think is, in its own way, an honor, obviously, but also gives an indication on movies that I think are culturally relevant. And I think that this movie meets a broad definition of being culturally relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that, I mean, it's Marilyn Monroe, first of all. Is this your first Marilyn Monroe movie?
Yeah.
All right, so what is your relationship with this movie then?
All I know the very overhead premise of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I know how it ends because, like, I guess I know the final scene because it's a very famous final moment in film history in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it for that. I know, like, I don't think it's a spoiler to say it kind of ends on a joke or ends with a joke being made. And it's just like, it's a joke that's very ahead of its time.
It is ahead of its time, but it's also one of the things I really appreciate about that joke, and we're going to get to this, a lot of the humor in this movie. One of the things I really appreciate about that joke is it is the best joke you can put there. Like, it is the funniest thing that you can say in that moment.
Yeah, I would say it's hard to think of something better to say, but I mean,
Yeah.
I've only been given 5 seconds to think of it. If you give me a few years, and I might come up with something better.
100 monkeys and 100 typewriters. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or wait, are you equating me to the same computing power as 100 monkeys?
1,000 monkeys. How about that?
1,000 monkeys? So wow. So okay, there's horsepower, and that equates to like the physical power of something pulling stuff. So monkey power is your ability to come up with ideas, is what I'm hearing.
Your ability to come up with ideas, yeah.
Gotcha. So the Tomato Anus channel has 1,000 monkey power.
I think so. Also,
Okay, what about the Speed Docs
if
channel then? What's the monkey power of that channel?
4 bananas and a hand grenade. You know, if horses played like monkeys, I think they'd be a lot cooler.
When you say played, what do you mean?
If monkeys worked like horses played,
If monkeys worked like horses played,
they'd have a lot more fun.
Can you expound what you mean about that? Because like when I think about playing, horseplay is you're saying monkeys show horseplay
Instead of doing monkey business, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm catching the poo you're flinging in my mouth.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening to the pre-show of The Film is Okie Dokie. We are going to now dip on over to the companion audio podcast. If you want to listen to us watch Some Like It Hot for the first time ever together, you can pause the show and go over and listen to that. Otherwise, you can continue listening, and after a brief moment of whatever, I don't know what happens between the pre-show and the post-show. I've never listened to it.
They touch themselves. Everyone knows that they touch themselves.
All right, well, after they touch themselves, we'll be back with the post-show. So either stay where you are or pause now.
Jazz.
Yeah, real hot.
Oh, well, I guess some like it hot.
Hey, he said the name of the movie!
They did the thing! Oh!
You're a pretty hot little firecracker yourself.
Oh my goodness. CJ, have you ever barked at someone?
No. Well, yeah, I have.
You have. I would love to hear this story.
No, sometimes, when Gaffy comes into a call and he's like, oh, ruh, 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 ruh. I've done that. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
We said it last episode, like, why do we always reintroduce ourselves? The audience hasn't gone anywhere. So, like, I was like...
I'm out of breath. I sprinted back.
No.
Don't steal my bit. What the
Obviously,
fuck? You're stepping all over my bit.
Obviously, Tominio carried you in on a litter.
Oh, yes. I just hate the sound of just the way his feet slap against the floor. You know what I mean? Does the microphone pick that up or no?
No, it doesn't. But you honestly keep saying the word slap, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, that's the best description. That's the sound of it. I
Meat
hate it.
slapping is not ideal.
It's not like he walks. It's more like a scamper. It's more like a and he's just there.
I was see, you're making him sound more animalistic. I was imagining like a cartoon character. He's moving his legs so fast he has like the wheels, like Sonic.
Oh no. That's
No.
not what he looks like.
No, he's walking around on all fours like
It's much more grotesque.
Oh, I was imagining like a cute little guy in like a bellhop uniform. You're like you're talking about Gollum.
Yeah, I mean, your words, not mine.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not gonna tell him you said it, but your words.
Just in terms of branding, I feel like it'd be so much nicer if Tominio was like a marketable character. And
Wow.
not,
So
and
you're
not
telling someone that they need to change their identity so that they are more marketable to a mass audience? Wow.
I'm not telling that to Tominio. I'm telling that to you.
Wow. Hey, CJ, you want to know something?
There's a reason I'm nobody's manager. What's that?
When you originally named Tominio, it was a different name.
Okay.
It was like Tomedio or something like that, or
Sure.
Tomedidio. So I think we need to decide, are we going to go with what you originally said, or are we going to stick with Tominio?
I'm saying Tominio.
Tominio.
Yeah.
Tominio. Oh, he's shaking his head.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
hey,
God, he
this is
didn't like
unfucking
that.
fair.
He didn't like that.
So you like Tom Minio better?
Oh, no, I don't like what he's doing now. I don't think he likes either.
Tommy, what the fuck is this?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know where I got him. He just showed up one day.
He's Tom Minio, not Todoba Bobo, whatever the fuck you said that I said.
We'll figure it out.
Tom Minio.
We'll ask him.
We'll ask him, all right.
Speaking of questions, though, Kirby. Let's talk Kirby. Have you finished Kirby yet?
I did finish Kirby. I 100% of that game.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but when you mentioned that you were playing through it, I asked if you had beaten it yet, because I had a question to ask you. And I never beat the game.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I saw something like Kirby grows a pussy or something at the end of the game, or Kirby gets really sexy at the end of the game.
What?
Is this true?
No.
Does Kirby get sexy or transform or something at the end of the game?
No.
What am I thinking of then?
I don't know, but
Kirby
you need to.
Forgotten Land sexy. Let me see what comes up.
What?
No, lingerie is not what I'm. It's transformation. What am I? No, I don't know what I thought I could have sworn Kirby like grew a pussy or something.
He did not get genitals, no.
Okay.
That was your question?
Yeah.
I could have answered that without beating the game.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it was like a big, like crazy scene at the end, and I didn't want to spoil for you that Kirby grew a pussy.
I guess. I
was just trying to be a careful friend.
Listen, there's a lot going on there that you can take or leave.
Okay. Well, the answer is no, so I do not know what I saw on Twitter a couple years ago. Maybe it was just something recommended to me based on previous searches.
You know, maybe you saw something that you didn't really want to see.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like something I want to see.
Well, I need an exit to this conversation. You're not giving me one. So we're just going to stop.
I'll give you one. How about this? I'll give you one free out, but I get to choose the topic.
Okay, sure.
CJ, the topic we're going to talk about is Succession. So welcome to my ambush Succession talk. What were your thoughts on the end of the show?
Remind me who the people are. There's
you got the Roys.
Hey, no. They're all Roys.
No, not all.
There's the guy from The Big Short.
Yeah, Jeremy Strong as Kendall Roy.
Okay, there's the guy that's not his brother.
Tom Wamsgans?
No. The guy who's not Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, Kieran Culkin?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Kieran Culkin as Romulus Roy.
So there's Tom. I remember Tom.
Tom Wamsgans, yeah.
There's that dipshit that works for him.
Greg the Egg.
And then there's his wife, who's
Sarah
the
Snook
sister.
as Shiv. Yes, Shiv.
Okay. Then there's the dad character.
Yep. Logan Roy.
Who's just a flaming asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I didn't actually watch. So I'm going to tell you what I think happens. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
What's Kieran Culkin's character's name?
Roman.
Roman is like, fuck this shit, I'm out, right? So he's like, I ain't gonna win, so I'm not playing, bye-bye. Okay, then, what's his name? A Big Short guy.
Kendall.
Yeah, he's like, yo, it's gonna be my turn. And it comes down.
What? That's how he talks?
Yeah. And then
what? So, okay, well, I don't remember his
well,
voice.
You obviously don't remember as much as I do.
Attention. Yeah, I guess not.
And it comes down to a vote.
Okay.
They have to vote who's going to be the new guy.
Okay.
maybe the dad, I don't think the dad gives it up without dying, so maybe the dad just dies, okay? So the dad dies, Rome's like, fuck this shit, I'm out, okay? Then they have to vote who's gonna be the next leader, and they have to have someone else to vote for. So it's like, okay, they go around the room, right? And it's like, we're gonna vote for you, or because he can't run unopposed, they're like, Tom. They vote for Tom, and he's supposed to be like the joke candidate that can't win. And because Kendall is so fucking shit at being a CEO, he loses to Tom. Tom becomes the new CEO of the company because out of sheer fucking blind luck, he didn't do anything to earn it. He just fell his way up the ladder. Everybody, like, Roman doesn't get to be it because he's, like, gone. Kendall doesn't get to be it because he's a fucking idiot. Shiv gets to kind of be it, but, like, in the background as his wife. And Greg, I'm going to say Greg dies in some kind of drug-related overdose. But because their dad was like a quadrillionaire, they all walk away from this being rich, stupid billionaires, even though they don't have the company anymore. So even though they don't have the company, they have generational wealth and nothing to worry about. That's what I think how the show ends. And personally, I just hate shows where rich people are rich. And that's the plot, and that's the plot of the show. So I didn't like it.
Wow, you didn't like it, even though that sounds like a pretty crazy ending you just described.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually the ending, but whatever.
But you didn't like it, but that sounds like you saw that ending, right? How could you not like an ending that crazy?
Well, I really wanted Logan Roy to come back from the dead and hit somebody in the head with his cane and tell him and say his signature catchphrase.
Oh, and
Fuck
that
off.
was... Oh, yeah, that actually was his catchphrase.
Yeah. Maybe he can again.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
That was so bad. Well, thank you, CJ, for that Succession talk. It was very nice to hear how
What
it
did you
ended,
think?
Since, I mean, all the events you just described, I thought it was fantastic. I thought when Greg overdosed, that was nuts. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, they
And
say
when-
you never see it coming. It's the people you least expect.
And when Roman sang his resignation, not once, but multiple times,
Yeah.
I lost it. I lost it,
Yeah.
you know?
I shed a tear.
It was just bravo, Jesse. Bravo.
All right. Obviously, that's not the finale. I would like to know how the show actually ends.
Okay. Spoiler time for Succession.
Okay.
Check the show description for when this will end.
Got it.
So you weren't horribly far off with a lot of things.
Really?
So Logan
Did Greg die?
Greg survives.
Oh,
The
good.
only person who dies is Logan. He
Okay.
dies, but like it's done in an incredible way where like you don't actually know if he's dead for most of the episode because it happens when he gets on a plane and like the entire episode they're like administering CPR to him. But anyways, he ends up dying, and then there's this power vacuum, and it's like, which of the kids is it going to be, or is it going to be instead this kind of almost like an Elon Musk type figure who is played by Alexander Skarsgård? He comes in, his name is Lucas Matson, and he's like trying to, originally the Roys were going to buy him, and then he flipped it and he's going to acquire the Roys. So then it ultimately comes down to the Roys versus Lucas Matson. And it's like, will a company vote for the Roys, or will a company vote for Lucas Matson to take over?
Okay.
And in the end, Shiv, like the three siblings are finally on the same page for once, but then Shiv betrays Kendall because he does something where she's like, he's just the same as dad and he's going to betray us. So she votes against him, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And that leads to Lucas Matson taking over. And part of it, though, is Lucas Matson then hires Tom on to be the CEO, not out of like he's incompetent, but because he calls himself like a pain sponge, where he's like, I will grin and bear it and do whatever you need. Just let me get this bag. He's like, he's essentially saying to him, like, I will be the scapegoat for everything. You know, he like signs the deal with the devil to be the CEO of Royco underneath Lucas Matson as like the owner. So Tom and Shiv do, like, you were right on with Tom ending up on top and Shiv kind of still being in it. Roman doesn't really, I don't entirely remember where he's at in the finale, but like Kendall's like, you know, he's absolutely lost, but at the same time, like, he's still followed by personal security. Like, you nailed it with, they all lost, but they still have this generational wealth. And, you know, it felt like
They didn't lose their job and had to go start working at McDonald's.
no.
He lost his job and has to spend time with his kids.
The closest thing to it is Greg gets a demotion to under Tom, like farther under Tom than he already was. Kind of, Tom acts like Greg was going to be getting fired in the merger, the acquisition, and that Tom saved him, but only if he accepted an even lower role in the company.
So the last time I remember about Greg was like he was Tom's bitch.
Yeah.
Was he not Tom's bitch anymore?
No, he was.
So he had to go back to the theme park?
No, it was just kind of Tom's way of like asserting power over him. It wasn't like he was doing it like, oh, you're getting an actual demotion. It's kind of like, I have all this power now, I'm gonna pay you less because fuck you, you know. Like they're all like that to each other. They're all the snakes and whatnot. He's like power tripping.
Did Greg ever become redeemable?
No, none of them. Greg gets worse.
Good. All right. Well, there you go. So I promise I didn't. I mean, that just sounds stupid. It sounds like a weird way to end it, but you know what? I'm glad that none of them got what they wanted. Maybe that's the best way to end it.
Maybe. I think it was. Like, I genuinely think it's one of the best series finales I've ever seen. It's incredible. Incredibly masterfully done.
There you go. Well, good. I'm glad that we got to have this talk about Succession that I totally remember.
Yeah, I mean, again, Greg's overdose. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I think my ending was better.
I don't know about that, because I think the fact that Greg actually overdoses twice in the actual ending, you know, I think that was unmatchable.
Also, none of these people understand, like, I don't think most people go to a company and then work at that company for the rest of their life. Most people move around. They act like working at Royco or whatever the name of the company is for like 4 years wouldn't look good on a resume. Like, get out of this shit. Go work somewhere else. Like, what's his name? Greg, go work somewhere else, buddy.
Well, it's a bit more complicated with him.
Oh, what, did he kill a prostitute or something?
No, but it's, you know, he's not seeking that type of thing. He's seeking the money. He wants the money. Like, that's why they stick around, is they're all leeches, you know? That's the only reason why someone could ethically be in the business that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
They're all leeches. They put pay over morals and ethics. They don't care about, you know, doing right by the American people.
So, Tommy, was it okie dokie?
Yeah, incredibly okie dokie.
I'm going to say not okie dokie.
You're not allowed to say because you didn't finish it.
I did.
No.
We just had this conversation where we talked about the finale and Greg's 2 overdoses.
Then I'm going to, you know what, CJ? I'm going to take that okie dokie, that not okie dokie of Succession, and I'm going to hang it up on the fridge because I'm so proud of it.
Wow. What, because it's art?
I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of your.
All right,
you're
fine.
Totally legit. Oh, not okie dokie.
Fine, I didn't watch Succession.
Look at you. You're such a big kid. Oh my god.
Moving on.
Okay.
You bought something?
I bought something. I'm gonna send a picture of it right now in the show chat.
Okay. Do I know what it is?
You know of this thing. I want you to guess before I send this.
The bong vibrator. What was it called?
The what was it called? The smokable vibrator?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I bought. CJ.
You really bought it?
Look what's in my hand.
What the fuck?
I bought it. Now, here's the thing. I had a plan and everything, and I tried acting on it. I was going to buy a cart for it, so it would be fully functional for the picture for you to see it. And I went to the dispensary, and I bought a cart, and I got back, and I realized the thread isn't right, so I wasn't able to screw it on. So I have to go buy a different card. But it does got the vibrate function.
Okay.
Do you want me to run through them with you here? I can play them over my mic.
You really bought it. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I have to activate the vibrator. I hold the bottom button for 3 seconds.
Uh-huh. Got it.
Quick click the bottom button to change functions. There we go. We got just a basic. Can you hear this at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got just a basic vibrate function. Now if I click it again, it's a little louder, a little stronger. So this is option 2. Option 3. Even stronger.
Okay. That sounds
you
like
hear that?
That sounds like a weed whacker. Okay.
Oh, well, it'll whack something for sure.
Hmm.
All right, so then we go to option 4. It's like
okay.
Morse code.
That's like the dubstep.
Yeah. This is when you're waiting for the beat to drop. So This is option 4. Option 5 brings us to.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's really intense. It's nonstop. It's kind of like a horse galloping, like in fast motion.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next one. I call this one the siren.
Oh, that's the car alarm. Yeah.
This one's kind of car alarms are going. I like that. Then when we go to this one, it's kind of just like a machine gun, I guess.
Okay.
And then we got another pulsing one.
All right.
And then we got
That's
this
the
one.
phone vibrator.
Yeah, this is the phone vibrator, you're right. And then we got this low one. This is a gentle one.
Okay.
And then I believe we go back to the initial.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how much did this object cost?
This was around $50.
You paid $50 for this.
Yes.
Okay. A vibrating vape.
Yes.
So you haven't used it yet.
Not yet.
So next episode we're going to have the review.
Yes, we will have the review next episode. CJ, I want you to make sure you come prepared with questions for me for this review if there's anything you want to know about it.
But the only thing we do know for sure is that it is not dishwasher safe. Do you vape?
Not really. Not cart vapes.
Okay. So you will be vaping for scientific purposes only.
Yes. Well, it's for a review, not for scientific purposes. I'm not going to sit here trying to develop a goddamn hypothesis or thesis about this. But
it's for the greater good.
Oh, now. We don't want to go around using that type of language, CJ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what type of language I like, though?
Clean language?
Yeah, I was going to say language without fucking swears.
Ah, right. Speaking of clean, I got my car cleaned the other day.
How'd that go?
It actually went fine. Where did I go? I went somewhere after I went to somewhere else. I think I must have went to get something to eat, and then I decided I was going to go to the car wash after.
What'd you get? This is important.
I don't remember what I got.
Damn it. Okay.
Probably a burger,
Probably a burger or most likely a burger?
I think I went, I don't remember.
Probably
Burger King if I think about it.
Okay.
No. I went and had hot dogs. That's right.
Hot dogs. Okay.
The day that I went and I texted you that I was at the hot dog shop.
Right. And you like it because there's a bunch of like 89-year-old men in there playing chess.
No, there's no chess.
Oh.
So I finished up in there.
That's what you object to?
Yeah. Well, it's not a barber shop. It's a hot dog shop. They have standards. So I get out of there. I'm like, I'm going to get my car washed because I got an hour for lunch. The secret of the hour lunch is really good. Like, it's a shame that more people don't have an hour lunch. The hour lunch is actually a break from the work. Half hour is not a break. Half hour is you sprinting to go eat, not the equivalent of an actual break. So I was able to go to lunch, get in my car, drive somewhere, go to lunch, eat, take my time, get back in my car, go across town, get my car washed, get out and vacuum it, and then go home. So, and I had time to spare. So one of the things I love about my job is the hour that we get for lunch. So big fan. And I went and I decided to go get my car washed. And
Did you vacuum your car when you were there?
yeah.
Okay.
So I went and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get the. And then I saw that they had a special, and this place does this all the time. It's like $25 a month, unlimited washes. As many times as you want, you can take your car through the car wash for free for $25 a month, right? Well, the most expensive car wash is $25. So what this basically says is, hey, if you can get your car washed here every week, practically what does it mean, right? I don't know that a car wash costs $25 in materials, in wax and water to go through. They replaced all of the jobs of the people except for the guy running the hose with computers and tablets. So there's no need for people. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that because this is how they get you. They're going to lock me into a subscription and then I'm never going to get out of it. And I'm just going to pay this $25 a month even when I don't get my car washed, like in the winter. Probably should get my car washed in the winter more, but, once or twice a week.
Yeah, I got to be better about washing my car in the winter.
Yeah, it's like if it's not going anywhere, then what am I doing,
Well, it's just really bad for like the paint,
It is really bad for the paint, and salt eats cars, and they have a big sign up that says that, and I get that, but I'm tired. I'm burnt out on subscriptions. So I run my car through the car wash. I get out to. So they have it so that you go around the building again. You can pull in, and you can use the indoor vacuums for free. This is something I don't understand. Those vacuums are 100% free. The ones inside the building. You can pull your car in the building, park your car, and then you can get out, use the vacuums, use the air gun, use the garbage cans, 100% for free. You can wash your mats while you're there free. If you do it outside, you have to pay. If you do it outside, so there's 12 bays inside, there's 4 bays outside. If you do it outside, you have to pay. They have another location about a half mile down the road. You have to pay there as well to use the vacuums.
You know why they do that?
Why?
Because they hate people who don't like to go inside.
Well, there you go, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no upsell opportunity for me inside.
Yeah, they just hate people who don't want to go inside.
Oh, okay. You're not... Okay, you're doing this. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
What do you mean I'm doing this?
Yeah, you're doing a bit. I thought you were actually saying they hate people that won't go in the shop. And I'm like, yeah.
No, they hate people who like going inside. They hate the outdoor people. They hate outdoor people. They're like weirdos.
Yeah. So I was vacuuming my car.
Uh-huh.
And the vacuum was on the...
You were vacuuming your car?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the vacuum was on the right side, and it's hooked up so that it's like, it comes from the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
And so it was on the right side of my car, the passenger side. So I opened the passenger side door, and I threw it over to the driver's side so that I could vacuum that side. And
the suspense is killing me. What happened, CJ?
You're hyping it up too much. So I vacuumed my car, and I pulled the mat out, and then I was vacuuming the mat, and I turn around to put the mat back in my car, and I bump into something. And I was like, what was that? And I thought it was because the mat holder was on the driver's side, and then I hit something, and it was weird. It didn't break my stride, but I hit my knee on something. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And around the backside of my car came a 12 or 13-year-old girl, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "What?" And I looked down. I kneed her mom in the face.
Wait, what?
Her mom was a small person. I kneed her in the face. She was behind me, asking me if I could close my passenger side door so that she could pull the car in next to me. I don't know why. There was 8 empty stalls. But she wanted to park next to me, and she wanted to know if I would close my passenger side door. And so she got out of the car to ask me that, but she stood behind me, and I didn't hear her over the vacuum, so I basically kicked this woman in the face.
Oh my God.
CJ. I felt really bad So I tried to help her up, and she's like, "Don't." And then she was like, "Don't pick me up." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not trying to. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pick you up. I was trying to help you up." She's like, "I don't need your help." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And then she told me what she wanted, and I apologized. And she wasn't accepting my apology. She was just moving on. And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't see you there." And then her daughter's like, "You're just making it worse." I was like, "Oh, I'm the villain here. I'm the villain." Okay. So I was just like, fuck them. So I stopped talking to them and I got angry, and then they pulled in, and then I got in my car and I left.
I can't believe you kicked another woman.
I didn't kick a first woman.
Oh, right. I'm supposed to pretend that story
You gotta
doesn't
be
exist.
fucking careful now. You gotta be fucking careful now.
Man, that's not at all where I thought that story was gonna go. I was ready for like the hose to break off.
No,
Man.
hose didn't break. My car's clean.
And this all happened on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
that's an
don't know
eventful
what
lunch break.
happened. I just kicked her. I kneed her in the face.
How do you bring this out of people though? I mean, I guess this time you kind of kicked someone, so I guess this time it's
not my fault, by the way.
I know.
Do you think it's my fault?
No, I mean, you didn't even know she was there.
Yeah.
She didn't exist to you before that moment.
Yeah, I was not navigating my space expecting her to be there.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're in the wrong.
It hurt my knee, though.
Really?
Well, not really.
Not really?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Like, you ever hit your kneecap on something and you're like, ah, and then, like, the next day it doesn't hurt, but, like...
Yeah, it's just a stinger in the moment.
Yeah, it's like, ugh. Yeah.
And then it like, transforms into a healthy knee.
Shut up.
What?
Your segues today fucking blow.
What do you mean?
You fucking know what we mean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so... this week was supposed to be my hell week because I'm going out of town next week. Then you're coming into town, and like I have to get all my work done by Friday. And I was actually messaging you about that today because it went better than I expected. But yesterday was the hell day of the hell week. Yesterday, to be on pace to have a regular rest of the week, I had to get 5 decks done on top of my 2 calls that I had scheduled. A deck is a slideshow. Just get that out of the way. So I had to do 5 slideshows for clients. Usually the way that this works out in my job is that this can be done throughout the course of the month. But because I'm going out of town, I had to get it all done by Friday. So I get up early, I get my water, I get a snack, I get set up in my chair, I got the playlist going, I get into a groove, and I get the first one done. And I'm like, all right, I got that done in an hour and a half. I'm like, I'm on pace now to get the stuff done for the rest of the day. And it was like 9 o'clock. And then I got sidetracked with something for my boss, and I'm doing something for somebody else, and I'm sending emails, and I'm like, all right, I got to get back on task. I got a little sidetracked. That's good. This is going to happen, but it's okay. So I get back to work and focused on what I'm focusing on. And at about 10 o'clock, I've been working for about 2.5 hours. I hear... Phew! Boom! And I was like, what the fuck? And it was like outside my window. It was like it happened 10 feet from me. And I was like, I thought I was getting shelled. I was like, oh my God, I hit the deck, the power went out. I'm like, what the fuck happened? It sounded like a truck landed in my backyard. Like, it was so fucking loud. So I go upstairs, I go up to the front of the house, and I'm out on the sidewalk. A transformer blew. But it was like, it was out in front of my house. So I'm in the back of the house, facing the backyard. You know my house.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the front of the house, down the street a little bit. And it was so loud, it sounded like it was happening right outside my window. So that took the internet down, that took the power down. I now have no way to work. So I start to panic. I immediately get dressed to go out. I'm like, I gotta go to a coffee shop or something. I'm like, I'll go to my brother's card store. So I call my sister-in-law and tell her I ask her if I can come work there for an hour or two, or hopefully until the power comes back on. She said, yeah. So I get there, I get in the car, and I start driving over there because not only am I busy with work, at 10 o'clock I had a call with my boss. So I'm like, fuck. So I text him, tell him what happened. I'm driving somewhere to get Wi-Fi. I get there, I get set up. I realize I brought my keyboard, my mouse, and my headset with me. but I didn't bring the dongle that goes with it, and because I have a Mac, there are no USB ports on this. It is all USB-C. So I had some USB-C headphones in my car, thankfully. So I was just looking down at I was just on a Zoom call in the middle of this baseball card shop, fucking with my laptop and my little earbuds, trying to like conduct business. And it was funny, and everyone had a good laugh, and my boss was cool. You know, he's like, shit happens. The power came on about an hour later, and my mom told me, and I was like, I'm not coming home until it's on for a little bit, because they came out too quick. This power company is the shit. Like, they're the worst. So I'm like, I don't trust them. If they tell you that the sky is blue, they're fucking lying to you, okay? So I'm like, I don't trust shit about them. But they came, they put a new transformer on, and then they were gone in an hour. So I was like, okay. About 30 minutes after that, I came home. The internet was fine the rest of the day. And I got everything done that I needed to get done today. And I'm actually ahead going into Thursday. So big gains on the work, but I did feel like I was in under fire for a minute there.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a camera, it would have seen me be like, what the fuck? And then like hit the floor.
Man, I've never experienced anything like that, like a transformer just blowing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it freaked me out.
That's nuts.
I also have a new stress ball. It's a little milkshake.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a nice little milkshake stress
I
ball.
like it.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it.
Yeah.
Should we get to talking about the movie?
That's why we're here, I guess.
Let's freaking talk about this movie.
Let's talk about it. We just watched Some Like It Hot.
Yeah. CJ.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
What did you think?
Oh, interesting.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah, this isn't fair. I asked first. I guess I'll answer, though. Fine. I guess I'll answer. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, this is incredible. You got to go check it out. The three leads, I should say. Two of them are in one story, and that's kind of the main story. I just generally didn't find that plot line too interesting for a handful of reasons that we'll get into. You know, I felt one of the large story focuses in it didn't really work for me. The other half of the movie, though, I thought was a hoot. It was really fun and clever and subversive for the time. Just a really good time. And I'd say overall, generally, it's a net positive. But I do think that there's parts to this movie that just do not hit at all.
Okay. I'm sure we're going to get to those.
Yeah. CJ, what do you think of the movie?
I really like it. I think it takes two really great actors in Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe, who's iconic in more ways than one. And it really gets so much out of everyone that, it is one of the films preserved by the Library of Congress. You know, it is considered to be one of the best comedies of all time. And I think that those honors now, like, you can see why it has had those honors bestowed upon it, I guess is what I want to say. You can look back at it and understand. You know, there's a lot that I like about it. I want to talk specifically from the angle of which I have brought this film to be presented in sort of my continuing rejection of Wild Wild West, which I'm sure the audience is tired of hearing of by now. But this is not The Birdcage, where The Birdcage is, you're never laughing at the characters. You're always laughing with the characters. It never sells out the culture, the rainbow culture, so to speak. It never sells out LGBTQ culture for a laugh. Like, you're laughing at them, you're laughing with them, not at them, right? And cross-dressing as a joke exists forever, right? And if you want to go real Freudian with it, if you want to just dig down on the layers on what is funny about it, or what is the source of humor, I read this a really, really long time ago. I read this in 2009. Okay. This was a quote that I read a really long time ago. It was it was actually in print, so I don't have the quote up. I don't remember who said it. I don't remember who wrote it. But I was reading a book on film, and the line was, the worst thing that can happen to a man in any given situation is he becomes a woman. And that is the source of comedy that is the source of the comedy, right? That is why it is funny. It is why it is preposterous. And you pick any of the handful of the thousands of, probably tens of thousands of filmed examples of cross-dressing for a laugh, you know? And it's not hard to understand the gag, right? It's not so, like, hidden behind some, like, it is not your English teacher asking you why the author made the curtains blue, right? I was listening to Kevin Smith the other day, and Kevin Smith was promoting Clerks, and he had read a review about Clerks that said that it was ingenious for Kevin Smith to use black and white because he said that it was Smith emulating the security camera that would have been present in the store. And the real reason that Clerks uses black and white is because they were in a real store with harsh overhead fluorescent lights. And if you try and film on whatever 16 or whatever they were shot it on, you try and film that under fluorescent lights, you get this green color on everything. So they shot in black and white because they didn't have the money to rent the expensive lighting kit to fix it. Okay, that's the real reason they shot Clerks in black and white, right? But it's like there's no more meaning behind the gag than the gag itself. But the joke isn't that, like, the experience of being a woman is lesser than the experience of being a man, which is usually a source of comedy for that bit. The joke here is, look how unprepared these two are to navigate these situations. And then look how, like, their experiences, you know, I don't think either of them learn a lesson at the end of this, right? And partially that's because of the premise of the film, right? Partially it's because of the premise of the film. I don't think either of them learn and become better from this experience. They don't learn a lesson. They don't, you know, what was the lesson to learn? Don't be a witness to a crime? Like the plot informs why the gag is present. But just in terms of that, I think that it does a really good job with the premise of the gag without, like, resorting to what I think is just lazy, overtired, the consistent, like every show has an episode where they put the male lead in a dress. Like, every fucking show does it. A lot of shows that are not well written include this as a gag. And, like, a common joke will be like, how do they walk in these things? Ugh, 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 ugh. They do make that joke in this movie. Right? It's like, or they'll be like, my pantyhose are riding up. Ugh, 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 ugh. Or they'll make a joke about their boobs, right? And I think that wisely, because of how funny Jack Lemmon and how good Tony Curtis are in this movie, they rely on the two principal actors being in funny situations, not necessarily like the gag of, like, hi, you're a girl now, you know? Last thing I'll say, and then we can move on. There's an episode of The Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy wishes accidentally that he was a girl, so Wanda turns him into a girl. And then he goes to complain. He says, well, do you know what I think? And Cosmo goes, who cares what you think? You're a girl now. And that is, like, one, brutal. Cosmo's a real OG, real thug life shit that he says some wild stuff in that show. But the other aspect of it too is, like, yeah, that is, like, the ultimate reduction of the joke. I find that kids' cartoons do a really good job of this because they're kind of, like, spelling it out in black and white for the audience because the audience is kids. But it's also like, yeah, we're just going to reduce down to its, like, basic substance, like, what the actual joke is in no uncertain terms. And I feel like that this movie does a good job of avoiding the pitfalls that many other movies and shows fall into with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it managed to be funny, which is the fucking point. The whole point of this.
I would say funnier than The Birdcage.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I think that both of them were funny. I don't have a direct comparison of them in my mind.
Well, how about we can talk about we can talk about it. We can try and force some comparisons later on. Let's talk about what happened in the movie first, though.
Okay.
CJ, you brought the movie to the table. You get the honor of recapping it for us all.
So this movie came out in 1959, but it takes place in 1929 in Prohibition-era Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have Joe, who is Tony Curtis. He is a saxophone player. They play with, like, you know, him and his partner, who is Gerald, played by Jack Lemmon. They play in, like, a speakeasy. And, you know, I think he plays the upright bass. Is that right, Gerald? Jack Lemmon?
The bull fiddle.
The bull fiddle. Thank you. It's a speakeasy owned by a gangster named Spats. I don't remember if Spats has a last name.
Columbo.
Spats Columbo, thank you. Earlier in the film, like in the opening scene, there's a car chase where it has been revealed that Toothpick Charlie has informed on Spats Columbo, and as a result, they are going to raid Spats' speakeasy. So Joe and Jerry escape the raid, but they're broke because Joe has a problem with the dog at the dog track, and he loses their money, and then he gambles the coats, and then it's the middle of winter, they have no coats. So they go down to the agency, and they have no other options. They try to get a job. They can't find any jobs. They hear tell of a women's-only band needing a saxophone player and a bull fiddle. But Tony Curtis says, absolutely not, absolutely not. Jack Lemmon tries to push the envelope. Doesn't happen. So they go out, and there's a gig that they can get to, but it's over an hour away. They have to drive. You remember where it was, not me. You told me in the moment that it was far.
Oh, yeah, they were going to drive down to U of I at Urbana-Champaign, which is pretty far, especially for driving in 1929 in a snowstorm.
Yes, and they have no coats. So they go to the garage where the secretary or the worker at the office, where her car was located. And that car garage is actually owned by Toothpick Charlie. So they put in gas in it, they're hanging out. Well, Spats Columbo comes to return the favor to his old pal Toothpick, and he mows him down, along with all of Toothpick Charlie's guys. And it turns out that Joe and Jerry are there, and they have witnessed the crime. He's about to execute them when I think a still alive Toothpick Charlie tries to reach for the phone, which gives Gerald and Joe, Jack Lemmon, and Tony Curtis a chance to flee. They are now going to take that gig. They are going to disguise themselves as women named Josephine and Geraldine, because they are now going to join Sweet Sue and her Society Syncopators, an all-female band headed to Miami. So that was why Jack Lemmon originally wanted to go, because it was Miami for a couple weeks. Yada. Okay, so on the way there, they meet Marilyn Monroe, whose character, who's played by Marilyn Monroe's character. Her name is Sugar Cane, and she is the band's vocalist and ukulele player. So they get on the train, they're going to Miami. Cool. On the train to Miami, Jack Lemmon decides he'd rather be called Daphne. So he abandons Geraldine and goes with Daphne, which is a much nicer name, I think. Okay. Sorry to all the Daphnes. Sorry to all the Geraldines out there, I should say. All right. So now both Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis are obsessed with Sugar, right? It's Marilyn fucking Monroe. She's hot. They do a musical number on the train. They find her in the bathroom with booze. And when they come out of the bathroom, they do a musical number. The booze falls out of her garter. And then I think that it's Jack Lemmon's character says that it's hers, whatever. It belongs to Jack Lemmon. And then Marilyn Monroe doesn't get kicked off the train. Later that night, on the train, Sugar goes to visit Daphne. And then they're like, hey, we should drink more. So then they start getting more to drink, and they're using the big like water heater thing to like mix drinks with, and then all the girls in the train climb up into Jack Lemmon's little bunk, and Tony Curtis is asleep underneath, and then Jack Lemmon almost falls out of the bunk, and it's a whole funny thing. The scene's actually pretty good. It's pretty long. I think it's like the first hour of the movie, you're not even in Miami yet. Like, it's just the beginning part, the opening, seeing Spats kill Toothpick.
Yeah, we don't get to Miami until about like 50 minutes in, and it's a 2-hour movie.
Yep. So now they're in Miami, and now it's the first half of the movie. I really feel like it's Jack Lemmon trying to woo Sugarcane, Marilyn Monroe. And then it kind of pivots where now it's really the focus is now on Tony Curtis. It's Josephine, it's Joe. And that's really what the movie's like actual plot is now setting up. Now we're into like this is the premise for how they got here, but now this is like this is about Joe and Sugar, okay? They get off the bus, and Jack Lemmon is accosted by Joe E. Brown, who plays Osgood Fielding the Third. Okay,
my man,
really funny character in this movie, and he follows her around. He carries her bags. He carries Jack Lemmon's bags. Gets in the elevator, pinches Jack Lemmon on the butt, and then that's the end of that. Or so we think. At the same time, they get settled in their hotel, which has no doors, has like little like slotted doors.
They're like shutter doors, like
yeah,
you would
shutters.
have in a closet.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe is staying apart across the hall from Daphne and Josephine, and Josephine has decided to get with Sugar. They're gonna have to do something about that. So Tony Curtis steals the manager's, not the manager, is it the road guy? Whatever his name is. His little name was, no one can do that. No one remembers that.
Wait,
what was his name?
Who are we talking about?
Mr. Beanstalk.
Oh, yes, Beanstalk.
Yeah, he steals Beanstalk's luggage, and in that is like some yachting attire. Then all the girls, including Jack Lemmon, go to the beach to swim, and Tony Curtis decides to dress up as a rich yacht owner because that's what Marilyn Monroe wants. Marilyn Monroe wants someone who's really like cold and fragile but has a yacht and all this other shit, right? It's like her shit. That's what she wants. It's what she's into. And he pretends to be Shell Oil Jr. and collects shells on the thing, and he pays her no mind. But she really wants to get on a yacht. At the same time, because they're going to have time together, right? The Joe and... there's lots of names in this, even though there's not a lot of people. Joe and Sugar want to have time together, which means that to have that time, they need to keep Osgood away from his yacht, because Osgood has invited Daphne to go to the yacht together. So Joe and Sugar are going to go onto Osgood's yacht, pretending that it's Joe's yacht, or Shell Oil Jr.'s yacht. And while that happens, Osgood and Daphne go dancing. They, like, dance all night, okay? Before, I think some point before this, Daphne tries to out that Joe is Josephine, and then Josephine is in the bath, and it's a really funny sight gag of, like, just the hair and makeup is on, but he's wearing the suit underneath it all. And then, so they dance all night. On the boat, Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis, she is basically doing everything but just dry humping him. And he's like, I just don't feel anything. I just don't feel anything. Now, he obviously feels something, but this is what she wanted. She wanted someone who was like, I don't know, didn't just want to get with her or something, right? So this is a whole elaborate, like, a ruse, right? At the end of the night, they get back to the hotel in the morning. Osgood has proposed to Daphne, and Daphne's, like, actually considering it. And she's Jack Lemmon's actually considering it so that he can have an instant divorce and a huge cash settlement, right? Just so that he can, like, get the money and run. And then Joe convinces Jerry that he can't marry Osgood, but that they also need to get out of town because, like, this is over. They can't pretend to be women, blah, blah, blah. And I think part of it is he doesn't want to hurt Sugar because he actually likes her now. Well, the hotel in Miami, funny enough, is having a conference for Friends of Italian Opera, which is an actual national crime syndicate meeting held by Little Bonaparte. Spats and his gang arrive, and they're going through the whole thing. They recognize Joe and Jerry as the witnesses that they've actually been looking for. So that's why they have to go on the run, right? They have to leave because Spats has recognized them. They have to get out of Miami in a hurry. Joe tells Sugar over the telephone that he has to marry a woman from Venezuela for business reasons. And even though that's not true, that's their cover that they're going to use to get out of town, he gives her the diamond bracelet that Osgood gave to Jack Lemmon, and then they're going to cut town. On their way climbing down the balcony, which is how Joe got to the beach to pretend to be Shell Oil Jr., Spats, they have to pass through Spats' suite. Spats sees them. They chase them around. They go to the meeting where Little Bonaparte stages a birthday party, even though it's not Spats' birthday, where a guy jumps out of the cake with a gun, mows them down. That gives Joe and Jerry an opportunity to leave. And then Joe, on the way out of the hotel, runs up on stage dressed as Josephine, kisses Sugar right on stage, and then Sugar realizes that Josephine and Shell Oil Jr. are the same person, and fucking Jack Lemmon convinces Osgood to take Daphne and Josephine away on his yacht, because they're going to need a bridesmaid. They're going to elope right now. Sugar runs from the end of the stage, and then goes over to the dock where the boat is, jumps in the boat. Joe, now no longer Josephine, now confesses how he feels to Sugar, and they kiss. And then the other duo, Jack Lemmon and Osgood, are now having their conversation. This is sort of the iconic ending where Jerry is trying to get out of his promise to marry Osgood by listing all the reasons why Daphne and Osgood can't get married, ranging from having a smoking habit to infertility. And Osgood basically brushes them all off, like really, like just in love. And then finally, Jack Lemmon rips the wig off. "I can't marry you. I'm a man." And Osgood says, "Well, nobody's perfect," which is the end of the movie. So
And
that
the credits roll.
That is the recap. I think I did pretty good on that recap.
I'll give you, on a scale of 43 to 98,
Okay.
where 43 is pretty solid and 98 is also pretty solid, a little less so, but like a perfect score is like a 79.
Okay.
But 60's like serious room for improvement. But then a 74, that's like the worst possible. I'd give you like an 88.
I'm offended.
Well, you should be.
All right. Well, thank you for that. All
Yeah,
right.
no problem.
That is the recap of Some Like It Hot. And I gotta be honest, I did like picking the movie twice in a row. I am thankful I don't have to do this for 2 weeks now.
I can't wait for the recap of the movie I'm picking for this next episode.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, foreshadowing.
Gonna be long.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Calm down, Roman.
I know. No, Greg. He said that before he OD'd twice.
No, you said Roman said it.
I know, but they both did it.
Oh, so wait, was Roman quoting Greg?
No, Greg was quoting Roman.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Mhm.
Greg knew he was overdosing.
I think he was trying to trip, and
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's trying to fall. Not to fall out.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
All
Something
right.
else I'd like to hear, CJ. What else have you got to say about this movie? What else you got to say? Say something to me.
I like that it's in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about it did you like?
It somehow made it feel older. I mean, it's already a film from the movie. It's already a film from the 50s, but it kind of added to the.
Oh my goodness, that's a good line.
I think that it was. I don't know if they did this for this reason or not, but I feel like it helped make Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis look more feminine. I think if they had the full Technicolor experience, that probably would have been harder to pull off. I think you can hide more when you're shooting in black and white with that kind of stuff. You can hide more of the imperfections.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I don't know if that's why they did it or not.
In 59, we're still on the verge of everything coming to color, right?
Yeah,
Like some things are color, some things aren't.
Yeah. I loved the jazzy kind of sound design.
The music was really good.
Yeah.
I did really like the music.
Yeah.
You know something else I love the sound of in this movie was all the freaking old-timey names. Toothpick Charlie, Spats Columbo. You got Mr. Mozzarella in there. There was a guy named Tiny. Like this is a top-tier old-timey names list.
It is a top-tier old-timey names list. I just wanted to circle back really quick. I'm reading this now. This is from Wikipedia, but it is cited in a textbook. It was decided to shoot in black and white because the full drag costume and makeup looked unacceptably grotesque in early color tests.
Interesting.
And I didn't know this. It was a requirement of Monroe's contract that the film was going to be in color. She agreed to filming it in black and white after she saw that Curtis and Lemon's makeup gave them a ghoulish appearance on color film. So there you go. Also, I do love the old timey names, but the names of the women in the band were equally old timey. I felt like.
I don't remember any of them.
Well, it's your loss then, isn't it?
All right. Well, I'm looking. There's a Dolores.
Yeah, Dolores. Yeah.
There's a Sweet Sue.
Yep.
A Nelly. A party guest.
Well, party guest, that'll live on in my heart forever.
Band member. A speakeasy patron. Oh, and don't forget the Fresh Bellboy.
Oh, the Fresh Bellboy, yes.
Can't forget him.
Yeah. All right, there you go. You have anything else about the old-timey names that you liked?
No, I just had to call. I'm a sucker for old-timey names like that. It's like, yeah, Johnny Applefist over there on the corner. Don't look at him funny or he'll hit you with his apples, or like.
Oh, yeah.
I always love shit like that.
Johnny Applefist, is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, good.
You don't mess around. Hey, don't mess around with Johnny Applefist.
You don't tug on Superman's cape.
Yeah, exactly. Don't spin into the wind.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, you don't fucking mess around with Johnny Applefist. Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, all right. All right, go ahead. What's next for you?
Something else that I really liked about this movie was the camera work and the cinematography. I felt that it was pretty dynamic, especially for the time. There were some really great shots, like when they are in the offices, like the music offices, going from door to door, and the camera's just following them through the hallway, and then they like cross the hallway and the camera kind of turns to follow them. And there were a few scenes that were shot like this, and it was, pretty nice. And there was also, when they arrive in Miami, there's this great shot of like a dozen old dudes in white suits all sitting on the patio, rocking in unison, like perfectly all forward and back at the same time. And it's like, man, what a great visual. Like, it's just a lot of little moments like that. And I'm not going to sit here and act like this movie has the most spectacular cinematography. A lot of it is shot pretty standardly and not anything too creative, but there's some good stuff in here still.
Yeah. Talking about the cinematography, you really can't talk about this without talking about Marilyn Monroe and how they present Marilyn Monroe on film. And you can probably get this from there's a reason that she wanted to be filmed in color. And she is...
Because she had a blue nose.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yep.
And
Rudolph
purple
the Red-Nosed.
fingers.
Yeah. You nailed it. No, but
and her
seriously,
teeth
folks,
were orange.
The drag element of it being filmed in black and white, that totally makes sense. I'm glad that I kind of said that, because it makes me feel smarter in hindsight that actually was the case. I think that sometimes like the Clerks thing, right, where it's like, oh, he did this to make it look like it was shot. they filmed this in black and white to make this look like it was the 1920s. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that it's true that the fucking the costumes weren't shit. But one of the things that's really interesting if you pay attention to it, and if you ever go back and watch this movie, they try to keep Marilyn Monroe in the center of the frame as much as possible, with light kind of always displaying her to its full potential, right? So, like, when they do, I'm thinking about the train, right? Remember when she's coming down the hallway of the train, or when they're in the bathroom, she's always, like, in the center of the shot, and she's always really well lit, and they do that because you don't cast Marilyn Monroe for her ability to deliver an Oscar-worthy performance. You cast her because she's drop-dead gorgeous with blonde hair, wide eyes, and high cheekbones, right? Like, you want to show the beauty of your star, right? You want that to be front and center. And it's something kind of small that I think is just only something you notice if you have it in your brain going in. But go back and if you watch this movie, if you some people I know have been listening to the whole podcast and they go back and watch the movie after. Just keep that in mind. Keep in mind, where is Marilyn Monroe in the frame, right? I think that's a part of it. It's not groundbreaking, that's what you should do, but something I noticed. I also love the use of the songs in the thing, kind of to set the tone or the mood, or like at the end, she's like singing about like love lost, right? It's like, that's probably the best example of it, but it's just like, yeah, the music numbers contribute to the overall story, which I think is nice. It also brings in more of that band element, because the band very well could have been just like a bullshit element, right? If this was a movie made today, I could see this movie not including any musical numbers at all. And it's like, why was the fact that they were in a band important at all? I could like hear us talking about that.
While you were talking about Marilyn Monroe and how she's framed, I usually will have the movie up while we're talking about it and kind of skim around.
Oh yeah.
And it isn't in every shot, of course, but like, yeah, no, there are a lot of shots that like I feel like when they cut from other actors to her, they're kind of going from a medium to a close up,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like her talking with Jack Lemmon, and it's like Jack Lemmon's for the most part filmed at a medium. There's like one close of him, but like with Marilyn, it's like exclusively close.
Yeah. I want to touch on a couple other things about like framing and editing. There's lots of whip pans used in this.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think that something that people don't think about when they talk about, and maybe this is a good conversation for you and I to have because we have a lot of experience in video editing, maybe not in movies, but we understand that the way things are framed often informs what you're about to see, and it sets up what kind of response you're going to get, right? In general, the tighter you are on someone's face, the less room there is in the shot for a comedy. And I say that very loosely. We were talking a few weeks ago about The Bear, and there's a scene in that show where two characters are having a conversation in a hospital. And the shots are very tight on the faces. Like, it's like, like you're looking at them in their face. There's not even any room for any scenery or background. It is just, we are doing all face acting right now. This is the little facial movements. This is the little reactions, the little furrow, the sweat beating down your face. That's how tight we are. In general, the comedy is in the wide shot. The humor is in everything going around you. That I say that there's no room in the shot the tighter you are, because that's just how I heard it when I was in school. But like in general, you set up a shot to be funny by having it be wide. Okay? So here's a great example. The famous ending, Nobody's Perfect. That's a 2-shot, shoulder to shoulder, allegedly in a boat, right? The two characters are making out behind them. They're speeding away. I think that they're both, it's eye level, and they're going away in a boat. And I think that part of what makes that so funny is that Jack Lemmon in the frame is to the right, and he's like trying to anxiously get out of this, and his face is very emotive, and he's just it's like his whole body is thinking on how to get out of this moment, right? It almost borders on overacting if it was a serious moment, right? It's a physical hem and haw. And as I now know that you pull up the movie, I'm sure that you have this up and you're watching it. But Osgood doesn't move at all. Osgood stays still the whole time. And just constantly brushing it off. Even when it's nobody's perfect. When Jack Lemmon rips the wig off, nobody's perfect. I said this in the pre-show, and I'll say it now. It was probably the best thing that you could have said in that moment. I struggle to think of something funnier. But yeah, like it is all part of the shot, and I think that the movie is very well edited for comedy, and I feel like it gets a lot of mileage out of the way things are framed. Like another shot when you're in Spatz's hotel room and Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis in drag are climbing down the support column, right? That's funny. It's something that's happening in like the background. But you get that when you have wide shots, you know? You get that when there's more room in the frame. Because it's very serious gangsters, you know, that. And then in the background, it's the lowering of the music, the lowering down of the instruments and trying to get down. And it's actually kind of a callback to the beginning of the movie when they're coming down from the fire escape, right? Because they're still trying to flee with their instruments. And the first time they do it very, like, fast and whatever. But this time it's slow and clunky. And, you know, it's like they're creeping into the frame slowly. And the slower they are, for whatever reason they're slower, because they're wearing dresses and heels, the slowness of it adds to the humor. It lets it build. It lets it simmer. It lets it cook. And it's not just a gag on, like, oh, they're climbing down from a balcony in a dress. The gag is they're going to get caught by the gangsters, the exact thing that they're climbing out of the balcony to avoid, right? And you get to see it happen slowly while they're having this meeting about, like, whacking these two witnesses. So, yeah, maybe a little bit of an over-explanation on my part, but I just wanted to point that out because I think that it really it's strong. The comedy elements in here are foundationally strong.
It's a funny movie.
Fuck you.
It's a pretty damn fun... What? No, it is a very funny movie.
I feel like I pulled out my textbook on that one.
Well, I enjoyed listening to you read from it.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Also, Marilyn Monroe is fucking hot.
Yeah, she's pretty attractive. She's all right.
Yeah, she's all right. Yeah,
she's all right. Nothing to call home about.
You motherfucker.
Oh, you know who I loved in this movie though was Jack Lemmon.
Yeah, really funny.
I think that both his character is the funniest of the leads, not counting Osgood. I wouldn't count him as a lead. And I also feel like his character experiences more than Tony Curtis's character. Tony Curtis's character leaves drag, a lot of it, to pursue a romance. He is dressed like Junior, who I'll get to Junior in a little bit. But it's Jack Lemmon's character who is, I'll say this. You couldn't make a movie like this these days. You know what I mean, CJ? Know what I mean? Because it's too goddamn woke, and you go woke, you go broke. Jack Lemmon is over here learning, sometimes it is played for laughs. Other times it's played less for laughs, but he is learning about the women's experience and how it's very different compared to men's. And it's, there's more superficial stuff, like not being able to walk in heels or things being, it being drafty all the time when they're wearing their dresses. Mm-hmm. But then also he gets his ass pinched in an elevator and Tony Curtis is saying to him now you know how the other half feels, Yeah. And I just feel like Jack Lemmon's character in general goes through more, at least more of an experience than Tony Curtis, whereas Tony Curtis, he's just trying to gaslight Marilyn Monroe. And the thing that really sells it to me, though, is Jack Lemmon is having so much fun in this movie. His character is not only the first one to suggest that they do this plan, but you can kind of tell he takes pleasure out of it, and like he's like always laughing like the Joker, like almost all the time, just like ha 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 ha. And it's just like, oh my god, dude, dial it down a little bit. He's just super intense and really playing it up and really fun, and just his story in general with Osgood and how like he doesn't fall for Osgood, but he becomes really into the idea of marrying him and planning the wedding, like for his own reasons. But it was fun. It wasn't a romance it's a romance rooted in a lie about an identity, but it felt much less manipulative because Osgood was was very active pursuant. And as we find out at the end, it doesn't matter that he was lying about his identity. Osgood to Osgood. I mean, good pussy's good pussy, even if it's not pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
Well,
yeah.
CJ, I don't know what it is. Why do you keep bringing up pussies in this show?
What?
But I really enjoyed Jack Lemmon in this movie. He was definitely the highlight for me.
Yeah, he's really funny. Jack Lemmon, for those of you that don't know, was
Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. Sorry, dad.
What?
Huh?
Is that true?
Who?
What you just said.
What did I just say?
You just said that it's Jamie Lee Curtis's dad.
Who is?
Jack Lemmon.
No, Tony Curtis is. What are you saying? I'm
talking about Jack Lemmon.
Well, why'd you bring up that's Tony Curtis? Why did you say that?
Oh, I must have misspoke. So, for those of you that don't know, Jack Lemmon was Felix in the movie The Odd Couple, and also you might know him from being Glenn Ross. In that movie, he was Shelley the Machine, sort of the old, aging salesperson, the kind of desperate salesperson that I'm gonna get one more sale. The old wolves at Shelley's door. Which, if you heard that expression, if you heard that imitation, and you're like, I've heard that somewhere. Gil from The Simpsons is based on Jack Lemmon's character from Glenn Ross. Also, later in his career, he was also in Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men. So, there you go. That is sort of the, if you want to watch more Jack Lemmon, I guess. But Jack Lemmon is really funny, and so is Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis in this movie was not brought in to be... I don't believe Tony Curtis's role in this movie is to be funny. His job is to love the girl. And that is something, I think Ron Howard said that to Tom Hanks on the set of Splash, because Tom Hanks had done, up until that point, only TV or comedies. And Ron Howard came over to him and said, your job is not to be funny, your job is not to score, your job is to love the girl. And it's a different kind of acting, right? So it's like, Tony Curtis is in this situation, but Tony Curtis is... all the humor is really coming from Jack Lemmon by design. If both of them were trying to outdo the other one, the movie would become insufferable. Which is what I feel like happens a lot when you do movies like where you have Adam Sandler and Kevin James and Nick Swartzen and Rob Schneider and David Spade. When you have all those guys trying to score in one movie, you're just like, it's just nothing but yucks, right? It's just like it has no form. But it's like, they can have funny, there can be comedy, but only one of them is trying to score, right? Like, Tony Curtis didn't go to the beach. There was a plot reason why Tony Curtis didn't go to the beach, but Tony Curtis didn't go to the beach wearing the bathing suit, right? But Jack Lemmon did go to the beach, because the point of Jack Lemmon's character is to score the laugh, right? And Tony Curtis's goal is to love the girl.
He's having a good
and in
time.
the end, that's what happens. Also, George Raft played Spats, which I feel like we didn't mention.
I don't know who that is.
Well, then there you go.
You know who I think deserves a little talking about in this movie, though, is Joe E. Brown as Osgood.
All right, go ahead. Take it away.
This fucking guy, after every other line, has the most exasperated wheeze laugh, just like da 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 da. It's amazing. This guy is like a fucking Muppet.
He is kind of like a Muppet a little bit.
Just the way he looks too.
He does have a very His features are very prominent.
Yeah, he's got a big old like rubber band mouth.
It is kind of rubber bandy, yeah.
I love him. I love him. I want more of him. I felt that, his character, while not wholly unproblematic, because, he like sexually assaults her by pinching her ass and shit like that. But like the bulk of this character is hilarious. He is just so in love with Jack Lemmon. And there's like a scene where like he's not a young dude. He is like probably, I mean, granted, it was 1959 when they filmed this, and everyone looked 20 years older than they were. He was probably like in his 50s at the time of filming this. He looks a lot older than that. And they dance until like the break of dawn. It's a long ass montage with a lot of those, what did you call them? The pan cuts or whatever?
The whip pans or whatever?
Whip pans, yeah. A lot of whip pans back and forth to them just dancing through the night, and he wins Jack Lemmon over.
Yeah. He was 68 when he shot this movie.
Wow.
He was born in 1891.
Wow. That's an old dude.
He
That's
died
a real
in the
old
80s,
dude.
yeah. He died in 73, yeah.
Wow, that is my favorite year in the 80s.
Well, there you go. You also said it was an instant fail in your rubric on how well the recap was, so.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I said it was a
73. You said
did?
75. Yeah, you said 75 was perfect, and you said 73 was an instant fail.
Oh, I'm going to have to go review my rubric.
If I was wrong, let me be cast and struck down by a flying ice cream truck and live.
Okay, and let's see real quick whether or not CJ will get cast down by a flying ice cream truck and live.
That is the recap. I think I did pretty good on that recap.
I'll give you, on a scale of 43 to 98,
okay,
where 43 is pretty solid and 98 is also pretty solid, a little less so, but like a perfect score is like a 79.
Okay.
But 60's like serious room for improvement. But then a 74, that's like the worst possible. I'd give you like an 88.
I'm offended.
Well, you should be.
Just start playing a fucking ice cream truck sound.
Oh my God. CJ just died.
Oh no. I think I lived.
CJ's dead. So now that CJ's gone, let me turn this into my platform to talk about Marilyn Monroe. Guys, I got a hot take. I don't think Marilyn Monroe was that good of an actor in this movie. There, I said it. I said it. And I know that I'm going to be cast to the outskirts of society, discarded like a napkin on an airliner.
Okay.
But if that's the punishment for being true to myself, then so be it. Marilyn Monroe gave a subpar performance.
I don't know that people are like, she was a very wonderful actress. I believe that her roles are memorable, and that's important, right? I feel like people don't really understand how many movies came out in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, and how often that the actors then worked, right? Because now it's like, oh, well, Channing Tatum was in a movie this year, so we're not getting him in another movie, right? Or it's like, Ryan Reynolds
example,
was in...
He's in multiple movies this year. Boo,
wow.
Tomato, boo.
You just booed yourself? What?
No, I'm throwing tomatoes at you.
Oh, okay. You understand that your name is also Tomato, right?
No, I'm Tommy.
Anyways, so I think that she had memorable performances, right? I feel like we remember a lot of the best parts of Marilyn Monroe, and I feel like part of that is because she died so young relative to everything else going on. And so she never really got old on screen, you know? And so she kind of feels like frozen in time, and everything about her kind of feels sort of in a timeless quality, right? Because there was no second stage of Marilyn Monroe's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She didn't get to become an ambassador to the Czech Republic like Shirley Temple did.
She also didn't get to become an ambassador to the Czech Republic like Shirley Temple did.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I mean, she died at 36, you know? It's not the 27 club, but still sad.
Shirley Temple died at 36?
No, Marilyn Monroe died at 36.
Marilyn Monroe's dead?
I'm going to kick you from this call.
Wouldn't you like?
Yeah. I would, yes. Yeah.
Now, one thing I wanted to talk about with this movie.
She's very hot.
Something I call the junior method. CJ, do you know what I'm talking about with this?
I know what junior mints are.
No. So, at one point in this movie, Junior decides to take Marilyn Monroe on a boat.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Now, very famously, you only take women on boats when you're in a situation like this because of the implication. Very famously. And while we were kind of joking about that while we were watching the movie, we were like, oh, this is just like something Dennis would do. This is something Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia would do. He would fucking steal a dude's suitcase and use it to dress up like a fictional billionaire and use it to seduce a woman who is a struggling alcoholic musician traveling with a band, and he would just ruin her. He would just ruin her life and then drop her and abandon her. I know that we didn't get that ruining part, but like everything was there up until her life just going horribly wrong. This is so close to being an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It is kind of close to being an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and we know that Glenn Howerton can do a reasonable facsimile of a woman's voice. God damn it, Dutch! How long are you gonna have us running errands for the DA?
Oh my God, Glenn Howerton, you're here?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I got some questions.
He left.
Oh, God damn it. Why do they always leave so fast?
I know, he absconded with Osgood.
Okay, I want to return to this subject, though. We talked just a little bit, and you said that you might not have a whole lot to say about it, but let's compare Some Like It Hot and The Birdcage. Not even, I don't know, do you have any thoughts on maybe how you like one compared to the other, or?
It's hard because I've linked them together in the context of this podcast, but I don't consider them together.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that I think about Some Like It Hot is more in line with the films of its time, where I think about The Birdcage kind of amongst its contemporary comedies of that time, of the 90s. And so in that way, it's kind of hard. And I feel like the sources of humor are very different, but I'm interested to hear what you think.
I think that Some Like It Hot is a better movie. I think that it is a better movie almost solely because while both movies kind of, in my opinion, kind of fail at the heart, Some Like It Hot succeeds, has a much, its jokes are just landing a lot more than The Birdcage.
Yeah.
And just strictly out of that,
I can agree with that.
I would say I preferred Some Like It Hot to The Birdcage.
I think something I would add to that, because I obviously agree with the one sentence headline that Some Like It Hot is a better movie than The Birdcage. Like, I guess it's hard for me to compare them because I don't like them for the same reasons, you know? And that's why it's sort of hard to compare them, but it's inarguable that it's a better movie.
Inarguable, guys. You heard it here.
Ah, Jesus Christ. You're
If
teeing off on me today.
Oh, I'm always teeing off.
You're teeing off on me today.
Oh, CJ, you know I'm just feeling feisty. This is what I'm usually
You
like.
are feeling feisty, and I don't know how I feel about it, you know? What we talking about?
Could you have done a Some Like It Hot?
Okay, it depends on who I am.
This is every time
There's multiple characters.
Okay. You are the main. Okay. Ooh.
That's what I'm asking.
I think we have to say you're Tony Curtis.
I couldn't do Tony Curtis.
You could not do Tony Curtis?
Well, first of all, I can't climb.
Okay.
So I couldn't climb up the side of the building.
Okay.
Second of all, I have strong moral objections to lying to someone and pretending to be a rich person.
Okay.
So I don't think I could do it.
Okay. So let's then take out of the equation the specifics to Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. Let's instead say, I think this is probably a more true, what could you have done it, like the nature of the question. Like, I think it's a bit, I'm not going to sit here and be like, could you have done The Romance with Marilyn Monroe? I don't think that works as a question.
I think I could have made that sacrifice, yeah.
So, could you have escaped the Chicago Mafia
on a train
to Miami, passing as a woman musician? Knowing that the Mafia will show back up in the near future. Well, you don't know that, but that is
yeah.
part
I'm about to say, how would I know that?
Yeah, you wouldn't know
so
that.
You're
but you
saying
would
I have to get away from the mob, get on a train to Miami, get to Miami. Do I have to be in the band?
You have to survive in the band. Like, as if they're gonna kill you off, they're gonna eat you. You have to survive. You have to make it through the band situation, not get caught or anything, not get sussed out. Make it.
Other question.
Yeah.
What year is it?
1929.
I think I can do it.
Okay.
I don't see a problem getting from Chicago to Miami.
Okay.
I feel like I would just go to the ticket counter and be like, give me one to Miami, please.
Okay. In that voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to affect a feminine voice for you. That is not one of the things that we're doing. Yeah, and then I feel like I could get to Miami, and then I could pretend to play bull fiddle.
I mean, you probably know how to play it as well as Jack Lemmon does.
Yeah, I think if I just have to be better than Jack Lemmon, I got it.
That dude, least convincing fake musician I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not like they're wearing revealing clothes. They're basically wearing like it's one step removed from a muumuu. Like, I got this.
Well, I'm glad. Damn, I can't believe this worked from a no in Tony Curtis to ultimately a yes. But wait,
I honestly think I could do Jack Lemmon. Like, I don't think I could do Tony Curtis. If you were going to ask me, do you think you could do Jack Lemmon? I think I could do that. I'm a good dancer.
So you're saying ultimately, yes, you could have done this.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
All right.
Emphatically saying that.
All right. I am writing that into the record book that Tominio is holding over his head.
Can you make sure that it's stated for the record that I said I could not do the Tony Curtis part?
Okay. Let me just write that out. Yes, but not in Tony Curtis's spot.
Yeah. As long as I don't have to lie to Marilyn Monroe, I think I can do it.
Got you.
But I would lie to be with Marilyn Monroe. Yes.
Wow. Manipulator.
I'm just turning 30. I'm turning 31 this year, right? Marilyn Monroe died when she was 36, which means that I am now of the age where if I was in the 50s,
Marilyn Monroe is dead.
Oh my God, shut up. And, God damn. You're really working this from all angles today. You're kind of pissing me off. Yeah, so Marilyn Monroe's fucking dead. She's been dead. And I fucking, it's weird because, she's the age, she's, my age now. She's the age of somebody I would date. Where up until, a few, years ago, I wouldn't consider dating I guess up until this year, I wouldn't consider dating someone who's 36 years old. You know?
Wow.
When you're 25 and would you consider dating someone who's 36?
I would consider dating Marilyn Monroe.
That's not my point. My point is she's now of the age of people that I consider as possible partners.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
36 is pretty old for me.
Yeah. How old are you now?
How old am I? 28. Well, actually, when this episode airs, I will be 29.
Wow, there you go. And I will be 31.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's old enough to date Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
What?
Oh my God. All right.
I'm just stating simple
What else we got?
Truths.
Is it okie dokie?
Is it okie dokie?
Big okie dokie from me.
Big okie dokie from CJ. I am going to also say okie dokie. So that means it wins the...
Was this an edge case for you? Or did you know you liked it?
I would say I knew I liked it because I would say I liked it definitively more than Birdcage, and the Birdcage was...
On the bubble?
The most bubble it could be. It was Birdcage and Chicken Run are two sides of the same coin for me.
That is a sentence that no one has ever fucking said.
Well, I'm glad to have said it.
There you go. A brand new sentence just dropped. Okay, so let's mosey on over to the rec room. And I actually have recommendations this week. I don't have to fucking phone it in.
Let's go. Then why don't you kick us off?
I know. So, first thing I'm going to recommend to you guys, if you have not checked it out lately, I am positive if you're listening to this show, you've seen this movie. If you haven't, as soon as this podcast is done and you've hit like and subscribe, you've rated us, you reviewed us, and gave us 5 stars, go and watch Pulp Fiction. I watched that movie for the first time when I was in high school. And I think that everyone's first experience with that movie, I guess, not so much now, because everything has been influenced by it and it's more hard to understand. But the movie came out in 92, and that movie is a game changer. Like, that movie is phenomenal, right? But I had watched it, and
I just want to say it came out in 94. But...
Oh, it came out in 94. My bad, I apologize. Did Reservoir Dogs come out in 92? Is that what I'm misremembering?
Yes.
Okay. I remember 92 for one. So Reservoir Dogs came out in 92. Pulp Fiction kind of changes everything, right? And I think that Hollywood was on to Quentin Tarantino after Reservoir Dogs, but everybody saw Pulp Fiction in the 90s and was like, oh my god. So I saw this for the first time when I was in high school. It completely changed how I viewed movies and dialogue, and I mean, it just unlocked parts of cinema for me which had been previously unknown to me or completely closed. But I had watched it in high school, and I had gone through this phase, and this happens to everybody, where you're just you grow up, and the things that you liked in high school, they don't resonate with you the same way, right? They don't vibe with you the same way that they did. And part of that's because you've changed as a person, and your understanding has changed, and you've seen more movies and you've watched more shows. I'm not saying your tastes have changed, but they've aged and matured in a way that makes going back to something you liked when you were younger kind of hard. For example, go back and watch your favorite show as a kid. You're going to have a hard time getting through it, right? Most of the time, for most people. Like, I tried going back and watching an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine. I couldn't do it. I watched that shit until the fucking tapes went blank, which is a thing that could happen when you rewound them too much, okay? I watched them on loop when I was a kid, and I can't go back and watch it. And I had this sentiment in my heart that, like, Pulp Fiction was one of these movies that it was better in my memory, that I wouldn't enjoy it if I went back and watched it. And it was like falling in love again, knowing all the music that was going to come right before it happened, knowing, you know, like, everything about that movie, the dialogue, the music, the shots, the framing, the way that the story is designed and set up and laid out for you. The cast is awesome. Like, everything about it is awesome. And I just think that if you haven't seen it, you're denying yourself some great pleasure. But if you have seen it, it's been a while, go back and watch it, because it really is awesome. It really does stand up. And I find something new I love about that movie every time that I watch it. So that's my big long-winded answer for Pulp Fiction. I'm going to recommend a game, which I normally don't do. I'm going to recommend Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I don't know if I recommended it last episode or not. I think we had talked about, I maybe started playing it, but that game was awesome. Everything about that game was awesome, and something that I really appreciate now is I really appreciate that when you buy Nintendo games, they work, for the most part. Like, I bought Princess Peach Showtime, and that didn't work, and that was disappointing. As far as I'm aware, that game still doesn't work. But you buy a first-party Nintendo game, it works. Out of the box, there's no game-breaking glitches. You don't have to get 10,000 hours of updates. It's not unplayable. It works. And I played this game 2 years after it came out, and everything about it felt very comfortable and natural. The controls felt really tight. And, you know, I don't know that you're going to play this Kirby game for the story, but it was really cute. It was really fun. And it was the first game that I sat down and said, I'm going to 100% this game. After I did the first world and 100%ed it by accident. So, highly recommend, even if you don't like Kirby, because it's so much different than all the other Kirby games. It's the first 3D Kirby game. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. I can't recommend it enough. And it was such a natural 100% for me. And I don't 100% games. I think the last game I 100%ed was Arkham Asylum in 2010.
And don't forget Kirby's pussy does show up in the
Oh
final
my
act.
god, with the pussy, dude. Clown pussy, clown pussy, clown pussy. That's you.
I
That's
don't
what
know
you sound
what
like.
that's from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Do you not check our Instagram messages? Because I sent it to you.
Instagram and Snapchat, I'm really bad at checking.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are.
Do you have any more recs?
I have one more, actually. I believe that I have recommended on this show Band of Brothers. And if I haven't, you should watch Band of Brothers. But that's not the thing I'm recommending to you today. Band of Brothers is really a phenomenal miniseries. And I feel like HBO in the early 2000s just couldn't fucking miss. I mean, really, some of the best programming that they'd ever done, and has the benefit of just, we didn't appreciate what we were getting at the time, but it was a all-star lineup of content, from The Sopranos to The Wire to Rome and Deadwood, and all those shows. And Band of Brothers came out in, I believe, 2000, and it is about Easy Company. And again, not recommending that show today, although I do recommend you watch it. I found a YouTube channel that I have really enjoyed, and I'm going to be careful when I recommend this, because I'm just going to say that I haven't actually watched all the content on the channel, okay? I haven't watched every episode to know if it has some kind of agenda or if it has a slant one way or another. All I know is that I found the content to be very interesting, and I would think that if you're interested in the show, if you like the show, the YouTube channel is called American Veteran Center. I don't think that this channel has one political slant or the other. I'm just saying that, I mean, it has a lot of respect and reverence for first responders and veterans, obviously combat veterans. And they recently had a bunch of stuff coming up, which was recommended to me for 9/11, which I found to be really interesting. Rob Riggle did 2 episodes because he was in the Marines. The actor Michael Cudlitz that played Bull Randleman in Band of Brothers, he did an episode. And they're about 20 to 30 minutes long on average. And they are veterans talking about their experiences. They're first responders talking about their experiences. I find the channel to be very well presented, and I felt that the interviews were all very informative and educational, but also entertaining in a way. Not entertaining like a laugh, but entertaining as in like, oh, this was nice. It was interesting to hear. I'd like to hear more from either this particular person or from someone else that served in that was a pilot, or somebody else that went to Iraq or whatever. And I think that sharing and hearing these stories is important, because not just the actor stories, right? Like Rob Riggle or Michael Cudlitz, but the actual men that served. I feel like it's important to hear their stories, because to get a little bit on my soapbox, political decisions affect real people, and these are people that really went to war, right? They really went and fought to the death with other people, or they really went through hell. It's important to respect our veterans, and I feel like this channel does a really good job of it. It is the American Veterans Center, and they have new episodes each week, and I have been really enjoying it. So that is my 3 recommendations: a YouTube channel, a TV show, a movie, and a video game.
Very nice. Very nice. You've got this nice variety of types, different media with the movie, the video game, the YouTube channel. I'm coming at you this week with 3 TV show recommendations. This first one I actually watched a couple months ago, and I meant to rec on here, but I forgot. It's a animated show called My Adventures with Superman. It's airing on Adult Swim. There have been 2 seasons so far. It has been renewed for a 3rd. There's been a lot of concept art and stuff leaked for the 3rd. And it's I think it's available for streaming on Max, but it's just, it's another retelling of the Superman story. It centers around a very young Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane all getting jobs at the Daily Planet. and Clark just figuring out, who Superman is and who Superman should be, and navigating his personal life, and him and Lois like falling for each other. And it's just really well done. The writing is cute. It's pretty solid. The animation's relatively good. It's very clearly inspired by like anime, and like the way the animation is done. Pretty fluid. It's just solid. If you're a fan of Superman or DC Comics, I would say definitely check it out, especially if you're a fan of Superman. There's not so much like dipping into an expanded DC universe, if that's really what you're into. If like, you're more into like Batman or something, there's no Batman or anything in it, at least yet. But yeah, My Adventures with Superman, it's just, charming and fun. The second show I want to recommend is a limited series that aired, I want to say in 2021. Let me just check. Yes, 2021, called Midnight Mass. It is a Netflix limited series from Mike Flanagan, who directed the movie Oculus and the movie Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining. He also created the show Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, of course, the Midnight Club, the Fall of House of Usher, and he makes a lot of really, really solid horror projects, and Midnight Mass is no exception. It's really thematically dense. It has to do with this small town on an island in, I think, Canada. More or less, a new pastor arrives in town at their small Catholic church, and he's pretty, I'm not sure if charismatic is the right word, but he shows up, and not long after, some hinky stuff starts going down on the island. And it's an exploration of not just a lot of stuff dealing with Catholicism and the way people weaponize religion and use it for self-justification for actions, and it has a lot to say about like guilt and stuff like that. So it's very good. It's only 7 episodes, so it's pretty breezy. Again, that's Midnight Mass. And then the last one I wanted to recommend is a show that just started. I've actually only seen the first episode, but it's the show The Penguin, which is a spinoff of Matt Reeves's 2021 movie, The Batman, 2022 movie, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. And if you saw The Batman and you liked it, and you have not watched The Penguin yet, you are doing a disservice to yourself. It is so good. So good. And I'm saying that just based off of the first episode. Once the season fully airs, I will probably report back and like solidify this claim. But like, it's tentative based off of one episode. Incredible show so far, showing so much promise and just sustained quality from the show. And Colin Farrell as the Penguin it's just amazing. I never in a million years would have casted him as him, but he is so perfect and such an incredible character that is brought to life in this series. So again, my 3 recs are My Adventures with Superman, Midnight Mass, and The Penguin, all TV shows. CJ, you want to run through yours?
Yes, mine were Pulp Fiction, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and American Veteran Center on YouTube.
Very nice. Well, CJ, it's time we reach that part of the show, though, where one of us finds out what we're watching next time.
And I believe, as part of our deal, you now get the next 2 picks.
You are right. Now, I went back and forth a lot on what I wanted to pick. And I think I've settled for sure on the one that I want to do next. The one after is still in the air, but I do have a strong front runner. But CJ, did you know that Some Like It Hot was actually part 1 of a duology here on The Film Is Okie Dokie?
I suspected, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so Some Like It Hot is actually part 1 of our duology on people going undercover. Because next time, CJ, we are watching White Chicks.
Are you serious?
No, we are not watching White Chicks.
I would have been really angry at you.
No. Some Like It Hot is part 1 in our gangsters going, yeah, because next time on the Film is Okie Dokie, we are watching Matt Reeves's 2022 The Batman.
Oh, okay. So you heard that I said that I hadn't watched it because everything was in a red filter and I thought I wouldn't like it.
Yes.
And, okay, I will make sure to wear my corrective lenses that day.
And I think that my very good friend CJ, who loves Batman,
I do love Batman,
has not seen this movie. I think my best friend CJ would really like this movie, so I would love to show it to them.
I am excited for that. It's weird because this is like a movie that I am now kind of excited to watch that I have no knowledge of.
Awesome.
I know actually nothing about it other than Colin Farrell is the Penguin, but I still don't believe that.
It's honestly really hard to believe.
Yeah.
Even when you watch it.
Because I'm imagining like in Bruges, Colin Farrell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not getting that feedback.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So yeah, next time on watching The Batman. CJ, you got anything else to say?
I don't, but you know what? Make sure that you eat your fruit and vegetables, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-huh. And I do want to start calling out specifically. We do have the Film is Okie Dokie Discord channel server. It is linked in the show notes. We also, CJ and I are active there. We also do have an email. I've called it out before, but if you ever want to email us, by the way we make this show, you probably won't get a response for 6 months. But maybe, I don't know, maybe if people start emailing more, maybe we'll have little mailbag episodes sprinkled in the middle.
Yeah, I could definitely see us doing like an in-between episode that's more current.
Yeah, so if you want to get in contact with us, either check in with us at the Discord server, again, linked in the description, or shoot us an email at thefilmisokidokie@gmail.com. Again, thefilmisokidokie@gmail.com. CJ, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to The Film is Okie Dokie. Make sure that you like us, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. Shout out to Bomani Jones at Wave Sports and Entertainment for the quip. And I have been CJ.
I've been Tommy.
And this has been The Film is Okie Dokie. Take care.